Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the first ever episode 71 of Expansion Drive Podcast, your weekly source for all things nerdy, theme parks, movies, video game, music, and sometimes a little wrestling. As always, I'm your host, Mike Harrigan, with my friend to the left, America's favorite worst producer ever, at Black Lewis Prime himself, Dee.
If you're going to brag that you won $10,000 and not tip your bartender, that's the biggest horror of all.
Worse than Horror Nights.
That's worse than Horror Nights.
And to the left, the professor of theme park economics, Mr. Are you getting the theme music ready? Or you're too late.
Too late.
Come on.
He's going to teach you a thing or two. Mr. Banks Lee.
Hey, everyone. Good to be back.
Banks. It's good to see you after 2-3 days, I guess.
I know, right?
Something like
I feel
that.
like we just saw you, and I got to see you again this Friday.
Oh, I feel so loved.
Yeah, great.
And to the right, for the first time on the show, we've been trying to get him on for about a year now. Busy man. Very, very busy man. Once known as Scotty Too Hottie. Former WWE Tag Team Champion.
And now just lukewarm.
Mr. Scott Garland.
What's up, fellas?
Let's go.
What's up?
Let's go.
I've been trying to get you on the show for a long time now.
Crazy, right?
Kids and
Crazy.
and
Kids
work
in
and
the way. Nobody told me I was going to be this busy with them.
yeah, they don't tell you that in the whole pamphlet when you first come out, right? And of course, the show is brought to you each and every week by MEI Travel, Mouse Fan Travel, Universal Fan Travel. They're your go-to source for all things Disney,
Yes.
Universal, and cruises.
Yeah, right.
I was waiting. I was like, you're taking a little while.
Almost missed it.
Of course, if you want to go out to maybe Disneyland to check out that Haunted Mansion with the Nightmare Before Christmas, going on right now.
We should have gone then.
We did go back in April. Sorry.
You want to go check out Horror Nights out in Hollywood?
No.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
I saw the videos.
Reach out to MEITravel.com, MouseFanTravel.com, UniversalFanTravel.com. They're going to help you out with a free quote, no obligation.
None.
And of course, thank you to Give Kids World Village for allowing us to record the show here each and every week.
Thanks, guys.
The behind the themes tours are over right now.
Yes.
But of course, if you want to help, volunteer here at the village, just reach out to gktw.org. Scott, you can actually talk about because you volunteer out here a lot.
Yeah. Actually, right after I left WWE as a wrestler, as talent back in 2007, that was one of the first things I said, all right, I know I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hands. And I was actually living, when I first moved to Florida, I was living in Kissimmee. And so I started coming out every Wednesday night. And then through Hearts of Reality, we came out, we were just out here a couple months ago, or last month, whatever it was, for the Hearts of Reality thing. And Stacey D's daughter and my daughter, they were actually supposed to come out for volunteer orientation tonight.
Oh,
wow.
And then they both ended up having to do other stuff at school. But yeah, I've been involved with them for a long time. It's like everybody has their charity, and it's my charity. That I mean, what an awesome thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so
exactly.
neat.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
You come out here once and you're kind of hooked. It's such an awesome place, especially being a theme park nerd, and all these people here to go to the theme parks, and it's just a great place.
Yeah, and you even have an eBay auction going on right now, correct?
I did. Well, before I went back to WWE a couple years ago, I started an eBay business.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the stuff, whenever I would go out searching for stuff to sell on eBay, I would always be searching for theme park stuff, and I'd find some cool stuff, being here, and so I did have some stuff on there. Yeah.
But you have one going forward that's benefiting Give Kids World Village, correct?
Yeah, we still have one going on. That may actually end tonight. Give Kids is actually auctioning off one of the Scotty Too Hottie Elite autographed action figures.
That's one in like the
cool.
white attire, the hair sticking straight up.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
At least I got to plug in for my eBay business.
Don't tell Matt we did this, okay? Just don't tell Matt.
So wrestling, Give Kids a World fact. Mick Foley was actually the one who turned me onto this place. He told me all about it, and he used to come here when his Christmas book came out. And he would actually read his book to the kids here.
Oh, that's so cool.
But he has 4 or 5 stones out there. Everybody has the stones with a name on them. If you look, I'm trying to think what the building is. The theater.
Okay, yeah. We're maybe 50 feet away from it right now.
Maybe 10 feet in front of the theater. There's about 4 or 5 stones with his different family members names on the stones.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's
That's so cool.
lit.
So usually right around now we go talk what's going good in our lives. Of course, we're gonna be talking Horror Nights later on in the show. So we're taking that off the table right now. But Scott, of course, this is your first time on the show. What's going good in the life of Scott Garland?
Oh, it's going 100 miles an hour right now. It's all good between kids and back working for WWE as a coach at the Performance Center, and our new vlog, I guess, is what you guys call it.
Yeah.
Kind of new to the thing, and to me, it's just like a YouTube channel, a podcast. I don't know what it is, like internet show. What's the name of it?
Parks.
Passports.
Oh, Parks.
I
Pass.
can't remember it.
So you're asking me? I thought you were just putting me on the spot.
I was testing you. It's 3 words, and I always screw it up. Like we went back and forth.
We had Parks, Passports,
and it doesn't fit. Like we wanted to make sure it fit everything.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of too long, but we really like the name. Passports, Parks,
Passports, Parks,
and
okay.
Parts Unknown.
Parts Unknown, yeah.
And I thought I had the Parts Unknown thing. This is awesome. So then I put it into YouTube to see if anybody else was using it, and I saw that Anthony Bourdain had the Parts Unknown show on the travel channel. I was like, oh man, but I was like, he stole that from wrestling.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a
Yeah.
wrestling gimmick. Come
It's
on.
a wrestling term. That's why I liked it so much. It fit. And then the Passports was when we first decided to start doing the show. We were on the cruise, the
Okay.
Norwegian cruise this summer. And we've been talking about doing a show for about a year probably, but then we had this 4-day cruise to Cuba, and we said let's record some stuff, see how it comes out. So that was the first show we recorded, and we said, all right, we need something for like travel. We like to travel a lot, and so the Passports was kind of like the travel. The Parks was the theme parks, of course, and then the Parts Unknown is we just kind of like cool little places we want to go, and we did the Monkey Jungle thing. That was our first show actually down in Miami, which I had never heard of. And I mean, it's right there, and it's been there for over 80 years.
And it's cool. There's actually one in Lakeland too. I think so before I started doing the podcast, I was doing the vlog with attractions as well.
Yep.
I think like one of the first or the last shows that we did.
Oh, is that one with the
lemurs?
lemur?
Yeah. So you go into like the little basically the tenting area or whatever, and you're going in and feeding the lemurs, and it's basically what you guys were doing, correct?
Yeah, well, the squirrel monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was one of the coolest experiences ever.
Awesome, man. It was really, really, really cool. So that was the first show we put out. So the cruise was the first show that we actually recorded. We actually came right off. And one other thing I found out that I say actually, like from doing this show, I say actually, to be honest with you, no, honestly, and literally. I say I hate it. I hate myself.
It's
You
funny.
always find out these things you never know you do.
Uh-huh.
Like I always find out that whenever I do vlogs, I always every take. All right, so
Yeah.
All right, so
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
how we open every show. With it. So here we are. Here we are at home.
And mine on here is So whenever and I have to get out of the habit of it. Whenever I go to the next see, and I just did it there. When I go to the next news story or whatever it is, it's just
The next
I'm like,
thought,
oh
yeah.
gosh, I hate it so much.
Fill time.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
thoughts,
it's so
I guess.
bad.
But it's weird when you hear yourself and see yourself. And here's another thing as far as doing the show. I've always been, hey, this is Scotty Too Hotty, the master of the worm, half a too cool former WWE superstar. I can do that all day long, but then to go, hey, this is Scott Garland.
Rein it back just a little bit.
Let's see what's going on.
So, and that's what I was going to say. So you performed in front of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in a stadium and in arenas.
Yeah.
Do you equate that to being in front of your own personal phone, your own personal camera
It's
like
totally
that?
different.
Okay.
It's totally
Really?
different because I don't have that live audience, instant feedback.
Okay.
And, with your videos, you can be in the ring in front of whatever it is, 200 to 20,000 people, and you raise your hand like this, and you go, okay, you kind of or you get a reaction right then. With a podcast, you got to do all this work, you got to edit it, then you got to upload it, and then half the time it crashes while you're and then you got to sit and wait for that. Does anybody like it? And it's always one little guy that's got to put the thumbs
down. Always within the first 2 minutes.
That's our favorite thing ever. Once our video version of the podcast goes live, there's always one person like, yeah, I live for your thumbs down. Yeah. And I love your thing. It's like, if you like this, give me a like. If you don't do anything.
I like to call them those people look like the people that just sit there and like there's something today somebody posted and you just want to blast them, but you're like, man, that's all they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
They're sitting in their mom's basement,
Yeah.
so they're miserable and they're just looking for attention. So you just can't respond.
Yeah.
I don't even block them anymore because some people's profile will actually say been blocked by so and so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
right,
mute,
right.
like on Twitter, it's easy. You just mute them.
Seriously, which parent didn't give you enough attention? Right, it was the both of them. Like,
I'm in the mindset now of like, if they're coming to YouTube to make horrible comments, hey, they're giving me the click, they're giving me the view.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting money in my pocket. Now you have a cool thing. It's kind of like what we were doing on Attractions Magazine YouTube channel with Vacation Kingdom. Very few vloggers out there actually do stuff with their kids. So you're involving the whole crew out there. Is that a thing that you like to do more so with the kids than Stacy?
yeah, it's Stacy D.
Stacy D.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I don't correct you now, I mean, I'm going to pay for it. When I
Please don't hurt
that's
me.
kind of my thing. When she introduces herself to people, she'll say, I'm Stacy D. And I go, nice to meet you, Stacy. And I go, Stacy D.
Just an automatic thing.
And her line is, like Alexandra D from Greece is her line.
Oh, okay.
What was the question, man? Sorry,
No, just doing the vlog with the kids. So
Oh yeah. So that was like we said. Oh, we've kind of got like I mean, you guys know every aspect of covering theme parks has been done, and like so if we're gonna do this, how are we gonna make it different? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there, and I said it in our show from last night that we recorded. It was like with attractions and Tim Tracker and the Diz Unplugged guys. I mean, you go to their stuff and it's all you guys do like super unbelievable. High quality, backstage media access. Like, so what are we going to do to make ourselves stand out? And so we kind of have like super cool jobs. She was in The Lion King at Animal Kingdom for 12 years.
Did you just freaking out a little bit?
And then I had this super cool job where I was a wrestler and performed around the world for almost 30 years now. But at the end of the day, we're just theme park nerds. We're just nerds like everybody else. But we have that little edge of the super cool jobs. And then you take 5 kids, blended family, kids from 10 to almost, my daughter will be 17 in December, so 10 to 17. And my daughter's in theater, so she's really good in front of the camera. And the other kids like doing it as well. So and they're having a blast with it. Like they're all.
Your son especially, he seems like he's definitely loving the camera.
That was surprising actually the other day. He did great. He did really good with it. And it's even us from the cruise video until now, I can see like an improvement and just like I said, it's just so weird to hold your camera up in front of your phone up in front of your face.
Oh yeah.
Walking through a park, and I hope somebody I know doesn't see me. So that's what's going to make us different. And we've kind of gone round and round, like how are we going to take this and what's it going to be, and we're still throwing things up in the air, and I think we want to make it as raw and as grainy and as real as possible.
It's so funny because it sounds like it's almost exactly how we were filming our vlog, because everybody out there, like you see Tim and you see a bunch of other people, like even other various attractions vlogs that were out there, they're so well edited, and I'm like, I didn't go to school for any of this. I'm basically using Windows Movie Maker to edit the vlog. Like this is just me, my family, my friends, and my kids. They're going out and just having fun in the park, and we just want to bring you along with us. And that's how it seems like you guys are doing the exact same thing. That's really cool.
And we want to make it, like I said, just as real as possible. And I don't want to do food reviews. I don't want to do. There's going to be nothing negative. I'll say that right now. But when the parking guy at Magic Kingdom. Ticks me off. I may say.
Hopefully, it's not Epcot and it's my wife. I'm just saying.
But we want to. It just seems like there's with the internet now. There's just so much negativity.
Yeah.
If I don't like something, we won't cover it, and we want to try to keep it upbeat, positive, and fun. We want it to be fun.
Yeah.
And just try to make it different. And that's. Like, what's your niche these days, man? Everything seems like everything has been done.
Yeah,
but
as long as you guys are having fun with it, yeah, and that's
a blast. And honestly, the editing it has been a blast.
Yeah. It's cool because when we were doing it too, and I think I talked to you about it before, Banks, that I almost looked at it, when we were vlogging, that it was like our own video photo album. Because of course we'll take pictures, with our phone or whatever. And I'm sure you do the same exact thing, where it's like, oh yeah, here's the photos, but we're never going to print these. They're not even going to go into digital photo album or anything. So we'll go back and watch, as cringy as the first episode of our vlog was. It's still cool to go back and look and like, oh, this is what we experienced, and you're going through and doing.
Yeah. And then you watch your first episode and your most recent episode, just seeing how much your kids have grown.
Oh yeah, and that's what's so cool too. It's like, especially with the kids, you see how they've changed. And we were talking earlier about your son. My oldest, Trinity, she's now 15, and the way that she started on the camera and how she is now, where she was actually helping film E&L before Brittany and Vincent left, and there were comments like, "Oh man, Trinity's doing such a great job. She'd be great doing this."
Very
and
natural.
It's so cool to see the progression of everything like that.
Yeah. And we can get the kid. We have the kids. Because the kids watch a ton of YouTube. And so
What kid doesn't now? Yeah.
So we can get feedback from them, and I'll say to my son, "Hey, is this good? Like, I don't know, like the cruise video that we did." And this is what I've been listening to a ton of podcasts, like on being a YouTuber. But it talks about like when you first start, like how much time you spend like editing stuff down, and like that video, our cruise video, hasn't done hardly anything, and I spent so much time like editing and re-editing and then I literally our highest watch show in the 3 weeks we've been doing this is the 2 days before Horror Nights open. I just walked through, shot the scares,
The merch and whatnot,
out,
yeah.
and did very little talking in it, and literally, I'll say literally 4,000 times. Went into Finnegan's, had lunch, edited the video, and published it, and put it out. And we were still in the park.
Oh wow!
So
Did you just do it right off your phone, or?
I do it all off my. I do them all off my phone.
Oh no way! So each show has been done off your phone. Oh, that's so cool. Banks, you're over there with your MacBook and everything.
Spending thousands of dollars on equipment. I just need a phone.
Matt, don't listen to this. We don't need to take away all the equipment, okay? We need all this. But it seems like everything's going good with the vlog and whatnot.
Yeah, it's great. So we're having a blast. We have a bunch of different stuff we want to do, and like I said, we want to cover the parks because it's here, of course, and it's right in our own backyard. And honestly, dude, if you're living in Peoria, Illinois, and you're sitting in your cubicle, it's pretty cool to see somebody just walk around the Magic.
Yeah.
And that's I talked to some friends that live like they're like, I just like this, in the middle of my day, bored out of my mind at work, just put it on, and while I'm working, it's on. And I'm watching, and whoever walk through a park. It doesn't have to be talking. You know? So it's fun. So what we can add to it, and just my circle of friends that just knowing so many different people that I've met over the years through this super cool job that I have. That hopefully I can get to do little things here and there. I have different ideas for little segments to do, and I have all kinds of different ideas. If they'll ever materialize, we'll see. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of the wrestlers, huge, theme park fans. Like I bump into Zack Ryder all the time, all the time at the theme park. So he's another. Everybody in the area is a huge theme park nerd. Who isn't really anymore?
It's funny because I told him one time I saw him, I was like, dude, sometimes I go over to Epcot by myself and just walk around like before Stacey D and I were together, and I wouldn't have my kids, and I'd just be home alone. I'm just going to Epcot. I'll walk around and get something to eat and whatever. And I told Zach, I was like, man, I'm always afraid I'm going to run into you with like a group of friends, and I'd be there by myself. And then, no lie, like a couple days later, I ran into him. I was with one of my kids. We were at Disney Springs, and we ran into him and his girlfriend down there. So it was funny. But yeah, a lot of people. Actually, Cody Rhodes just tweeted right before I got here. I'm asking how many times. He said, "How many times have you been to Horror Nights?" So it was cool.
And it's really cool. I was talking to Chelsea, Zach's girlfriend. We did a charity event up at Camp Boggy Creek a couple months ago, and I was telling her like we always run into them, but like we never want to be those people that say, "Hey, we blah blah blah." Just, no, seriously, come up and say hi. Like we're in the parks all the time. Mm-hmm. Do you have problems with people coming up to you, or are you cool with that? Or
no, man. I've always said I had like the right level of the right level of celebrity, because even when I was on TV on Raw or SmackDown every week, say like in 2000, I was on pretty much every week. I had the tall hair, which I didn't wear like that in public. So
what?
Hard to believe. Yeah.
Shock.
Very wish I had some of that hair back now. But very rarely. I mean, it was a lot more than now, but now I look so different.
Yeah.
But it's the right level where you can use it because you can go, hey, like if you have to use it for something, you can. So it's like the perfect thing, man.
Yeah, this Space Mountain line is 200 minutes. Don't you know I can do the worm? Come on.
Yeah. And anybody who ever says they hate being bothered for something that they love doing is full of Paul Stanley from Kiss said that once. Like, if you hate being bothered because you're in the band Kiss, dude, quit Kiss and go work at Wawa. Oh, by the way, Wawa has their pumpkin spice coffee.
They also got their Hoagie Fest going on right now.
Just so you know, there's a sponsor right there.
Hashtag ad.
Thanks, Wawa.
Hashtag ad. Thank you, Wawa.
So, Banks,
Yes.
I just saw you a couple days ago, but of course,
Yes.
I'm sure some other shenanigans have been going on past week. How's everything?
Just family life mainly. Kids in school. She unfortunately got an ear infection from school. So
Oh,
we're having to deal
you'll
with that.
you'll learn that comes a lot. Lots of
Yeah.
sicknesses come with the school.
Went to Not So Scary with the kids, and they had a blast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you went. I think it was the same day Frocka went.
Yeah,
my wife.
we saw her there too.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
you
Yeah,
went?
yeah, she did tell
Oh,
me
you
that.
went again? I didn't know that.
Yeah. We just it was just a family visit to
Cool,
Not
cool.
So Scary. Had a great time there. Took Spencer.
By the way,
to-
Scott, I'm not cussing. That's my wife's name, Frocka. Sorry. I don't call her bad words in front of her face.
Your mother call her? Did the kids call her Mother Frock?
No, but funny story. My sister used to watch a little girl, and when she came home one day, she was trying to say Frocka's name, and the mother got just a wee bit upset because she thought that she learned a new word. And
Oops.
yeah, whoops. So did you guys dress up when you guys went?
We had all gotten different versions of like standard Disney Halloween shirts. So we didn't
Okay.
really dress up. We might go again next month and actually dress up, but it was just kind of just a fun night. Just to
Lots of
enjoy it.
candy.
Lots of candy. Oh, boy,
so
lots
much
of candy. Took Spencer over to Epcot for food and wine because I wanted to get video of her playing in the Wreck-It Ralph playground over there for our.
And she loves the wine.
Oh yeah, no, she's always drinking that. But no, and that's when I found out like the Wreck-It Ralph playground is playing a version of the Mario Kart Super
Yeah, I heard
Mario
that.
Kart theme.
Yeah.
Which I immediately at first thought, oh, is this going to be in the new movie?
Mm-hmm.
But then someone said, oh, this is a remix that came out in like 2001 or something. For some reason Disney's using it, so I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I mean, because they'd have to license that in order to play it in the
I
park,
would
though,
assume
correct?
so, unless this is just like we'll sneak it in, maybe no one notices.
Maybe Universal won't notice, when we're playing stuff that's coming to their park, some 10 years from now.
And then I also went and checked out the new Early Morning Magic event they're doing at Hollywood Studios. And it is you get breakfast at ABC Commissary and then early access to Toy Story Land before the guests, which means like you walk right onto Slinky Dog, and it's
Still haven't been out there.
Now, is the breakfast any good?
The
'Cause
breakfast is
commissary
actually well. Here's the thing:
Oh,
it's
your
not. It's
girlfriend.
not. It's not food that is served to day guests.
Okay.
This is specialty hot breakfast items made just for this event.
Ah.
Oh,
so
cool.
there'll be a segment on a future episode of the show y'all can check out for that.
Cool.
See that.
the show.
Deeds,
Hashtag ad.
what's up with you, sir?
Lots of horror nights.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
I saw The Predator.
How was
I
that?
loved it. It was corny, cheesy. The action was amazing. I loved it, and they played
Good
the
popcorn
old song. I marked out. I was like, I flipped the table.
Now, did they do the whole bro, handshake, high five thing?
Man, they missed so many great opportunities.
Because
They,
nobody's really
kinda-
huge,
Yeah,
muscle
there's
bound.
no one like Carl Weathers and Arnold just. Dylan, you holding too many having too many pencils. But there was a good tease at the end. But I'm not gonna spoil it. But it was great. I
All
loved
right.
it.
All right.
Loved it. Loved The Predator. Go see it. Go see it.
So we were thinking about going to see that one, but we ended up. So we were choosing between Peppermint, is that new Jennifer Garner movie? Kind of looks like The Punisher, but Jennifer Garner. But we ended up seeing The Meg.
Oh, what a great movie!
Oh man! So Banks, you haven't seen it yet,
I
right?
still have yet to see it.
Scott, have you seen
I really
it?
want to see it.
It's the one that's it's the shark movie or whatever. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. Dee Dee, you
love it.
weren't joking. It's
I love
super
it.
over the top.
I
It's
love
great.
it.
I loved it.
Jason Statham.
Oh my god.
I'm just really happy he wasn't a marine biologist. That's all I have to say.
I think that would have been a great one for 40X.
Yes.
Which, speaking of which, this is totally my mistake. Last week on the show, we talked about how the fine folk at the Nun sent us out to go see the movie in 40X. It was my mistake. It was actually the guys at 40X. They sent us out. So I'm glad that we spoke so highly of 40X. Maybe not so much the Nun. So thank you to the guys at 40X for sending us out there. It was a great time. So besides the Meg, I platinumed Spider-Man 100%.
Let's go.
That means you
Beat everything. I found everything.
100%.
You know, beat every
Give
bad
yourself
guy.
some time to enjoy the game.
Oh, no, I wanted to just devour it. Oh, it was so good. But it's been fun too because I've been playing it with Gavin, my son, and he's been having a blast with it. And of course, now that I beat it, he's like, "Oh, can I take it into my room and go play now?" And I was like, "Sure, as long as you're taking a break from Fortnite, you can go play Spider-Man now." Thank God. Yeah. But yeah, that's been my shenanigans. So not really news wise, but of course, Scott, we grew up. I mean, of course, we not really grew up. We were like coming out of high school, when the Attitude Era was coming, around or whatever. Yeah. So we're not trying to make you feel old, I promise. But this is a huge honor for us to have you on the show because we grew up watching you on the show, whatever. So of course we have to talk a little bit about wrestling.
Oh, of course.
So I read this story on Wikipedia that about your intro or trying to get into WWF, WWE now, of course. Tell me about this. You were 14, 15 years old, writing in to WWE to try and ask, how do I get a job, basically?
Yeah, I think I wrote which wrestling. There were a bunch of wrestling schools out there at the time, and I just wrote a letter. I don't even know if I addressed it to anybody, asking which school that they recommend going to. Yeah, 14 to 54. I think it was 14. And I got a response, and just said they didn't pick from any specific school, and it was from Sue Aitchison. Now, years later, fast forward to when I'm working for WWE, Sue Aitchison still works there. And
wow!
I now know her, and I just
just
did a picture with her at WrestleMania. I said, I got to get a picture with you, So I did a picture with her, and now she works with. She's like the contact for Make-A-Wish.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
That's lit.
Yeah, so she's still there for all those years. But,
so all those years, as a kid, is that like the thing that you gravitated towards the most? Is like, hey, I want to become a professional wrestler.
It's the only thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was your favorite growing up?
Myself. Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage, always the smaller guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was never a big Hogan fan until later, once I knew what it was.
Okay.
And I was like, man, he is good. Watching him work.
Because of course, not the best wrestler, but just like one of the best characters of all time, of course.
Yeah. And just feeling a crowd and knowing how to work a crowd, and he was the man. And,
brother.
Yeah, that's all I ever wanted to do, and I think that was 10 years old.
Wow,
maybe I first saw wrasling.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So now, I read up that said that you were a junior in high school when you started, basically as an enhancement talent. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Somebody just sent me a match today from February of '93. I would have been 19 years old. It was one of the first Monday Night Raws. It was me and Bam Bam Bigelow. It was my first time on Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
I was
my God.
It's Bam
so I graduated
Bam
high school
Bigelow.
in '93. I was 19 when I graduated high school, but I actually missed a lot of school because I used to skip school to go do the WWE TV tapings.
Wow.
So I did tapings on Monday, Tuesday. They taped Superstars of Wrestling, which would air on Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday, and then Wrestling Challenge on Tuesday, and that's where I started.
Did your parents know?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They've always been super supportive.
That's
cool.
so cool.
I mean, dude, there was no telling me I wasn't going to do anything else.
Wow.
And you got to think, at the time, I mean, here I am, 185, 195 pounds, and you're looking at, the guys at the time were monsters.
I mean, you said your first match was Bam Bam, and he was, what, 3 bills plus?
There was nobody even close to my size at the time. And guy who really kicked the door open for smaller guys and never really gets credit for it was X-Pac. One, two, three kid. There wasn't anybody his size until 1, 2, 3 kid came on the scene. And he was the underdog guy, and he beat Razor Ramon.
Beat Razor. Oh,
Yeah.
And,
my grandmother lost her mind that night.
I think I did too. I remember that happened. Whoa.
I kind of went from him, and then there was Shawn Michaels, almost kind of starting to take off in his singles thing at the same time, and then Shawn kind of proved, hey, smaller guys can. And Shawn wasn't small in his heyday. He wasn't, he was probably 220, 225.
But in WWE
He
standards,
was a small.
Yeah.
Thinking after the Hogan era, Hogan
Yeah.
and Sid Vicious and Undertaker, all those guys at the time, and Bundy, all those
Yeah.
guys.
Because
They were
it's so
big.
funny. So I worked ring crew for TNA back in the day, and so meeting some of the guys that I grew up watching, for example, Billy Gunn, watching WWE back in the day, you're like, oh, Billy's one of the the smaller guys, and then you meet him in real life, and like, wow, you're not tiny at all. It's just it's crazy. So of course you were one of the ones that brought in, or the beginning of what was at the time the light heavyweight division.
That's when I was hired. Actually, was in '97 for the light heavyweight tournament.
Wow.
Which I was eliminated by Kane.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, Kane?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah. That's when Kane first came on.
Oh, okay. I'm
And
like,
it
wait a minute. Why was he in this match? I don't remember that.
It was supposed to be me against Brian Christopher
Uh-huh.
in the semifinals, I think. And I made my introduction. I was in the ring, and just as when Brian's music was about to hit, Kane's music hit. Kane came down, gave in that. When they first brought him in, he was
Yeah.
choke slamming guys and tombstoning them. And I was eliminated from the tournament.
Oh,
so I guess I'm really still in
man.
the tournament.
But of course you went on to have I love this match because of course like I said earlier I was telling it's actually before we started the podcast, so I'm going back and watching everything from the beginning from the when Raw started on the WWE Network with my kids, so it's cool to watch it with them. But of course watching it back, I'm forgetting some of the great matches that you had. Of course the one comes to mind with Tajiri back in the day that I'd even forgot that it was Tajiri because he was Tajiri. God, he had a different name. He had Tajiri something, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
You, Brian, and then Taka Michinoku as well. And it was a 4-way, correct?
Is that when they said he was a dentist or something? I thought they said something.
Tajiri? Yeah, he went to school. Yeah, he went to school for something. Yeah, something weird. Yeah.
So this was before Tajiri went to ECW.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I remember a whole lifetime ago. Yeah, crazy, right?
But I mean, how cool is it, looking back that, you were one of the originators, for what, is, I guess you now is on, 205 Live, with those guys or whatever, that you were ones that started that title.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And then, of course, that's when, of course, everybody knows you from Too Cool.
Right.
And that's when it started out as Too Much, correct?
Started as Too Much, yeah. And then they wanted to change it up. And, the Hardy Boys had gone from wearing tights to the pants, and
Yeah.
changed their image. And they said, hey, we want you guys to try to emulate what the Hardys did. We want you to just go out and buy clothes that the kids are dressing in now. So you guys are going to think you're cool.
Oh God.
But you're not cool. And you're too cool. So that was that was how it all started. And we were supposed to be bad guys at the time, and we were just I believe we started back on Raw. We actually did one pre-tape on Sunday Night Heat where we said, they just put this up recently, where they said Too Much is no more, we're now too cool, blah blah blah. Well, we filmed that on a Tuesday night to air on the Sunday Night Heat the following week. And so from that point on, we were going to be too cool. Well, the next night, so that was Tuesday night, it was filmed. Wednesday night, we had a live event in Portland, Maine, which is my hometown. Me and Brian against D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. And Brian tears his ACL.
Oh.
He's out for 6 months. So they still aired the thing saying we're now too cool, but we were out until October. I think it was.
Were there segments that hyped you guys coming back as Too
nothing.
Cool? Wow,
Just
just nothing.
It's actually Sunday night, sitting at home, and I got a phone call. And at that time, you had to call ID.
Yeah.
It says my home phone, and it says Bruce Pritchard, 11 o'clock at night. Bruce Pritchard was the head of talent relations at the time, and he said, "Hey, we need you at Raw tomorrow night." So like 11 o'clock on Sunday night, I told him they need me at Raw tomorrow night. So go back, and no idea what we're doing, if I'm too cool, if what's going on. So brought everything, and then we ended up jumping the Edge and Christian.
Okay.
Did some of it, I think we jumped. I think it was the Hollies and Edge and Christian, and we ended up running in, jumping Edge and Christian, and the Hardys came down. That set up the Survivor Series match for that year with us and the Hollies, with Edge and Christian and the Hardys. And then we're off and running.
And that's the thing. I think the crowd reaction for you guys just kept getting bigger and bigger. Is that when they just decided that we were going to turn you guys face?
No, we didn't. It just happened.
Just-
I don't think it was really anything that turned us besides the crowd turned us. Just because we were so over the top and funny.
Yeah.
And then, he take a close to 400-pound Samoan wearing a thong, and you put him with us. And,
Well, and Rikishi came later, correct?
he wasn't until December.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so maybe that's right about when it was.
Okay.
We became good guys.
So you were talking earlier about the attire that you guys were wearing. Was this you or was this Brian? Choosing this
It was
super
both of
crazy.
us. I can remember we went out and because we didn't really hang out. We weren't real close. We didn't hang out a lot, but we went out shopping for clothes in Worcester, Massachusetts. And that's where we filmed the thing for Sunday Night Heat. And we bought all these clothes, went to these hip hop shops.
Oh God!
The two whitest guys in the room.
Oh, and I hate that. I hate that. So I'm like, yeah, I am the atomic white guy. People always say, like, I get tweets and stuff like, oh, you're such a good dancer. I wish you could give me dance lessons. And I'll be like, no.
So all right, so this was going to be my next question.
I
So
have one good dance move. One. It's really good, but that's all I got.
So, all right. So, eventually, you guys started doing the whole dance right after every single match. Where the lights would drop and you guys would drop and then do. Basically, it was the electric slide for for back 11. But you had some trouble keeping up there, Scott.
Oh man, if you go back and watch the early stuff,
Oh man!
awful. To this day, I've still never danced in public. For real. Never danced in public.
Really?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, how I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts, and so they, every superstar has their own. Back at the time, the Attitude has their say of like how they were able to fit in the Attitude because it was just so much with so little time. How do you guys think you guys did that in terms of being able to fit in?
Because not only just fit in, but
Because you're-
arguably, other than The Rock, you guys had the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah, because like Mark Henry, for example, he said like one time, I think it was like on the network, he said we had 5 minutes and we had to get it in real quick. But what do you guys think? What do you think?
I think
you
we
guys
were
did?
kind of at that time. I think like it was Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian, and they were kind of doing the ladder match and the tables matches, and that kind of made all of those guys right. So, but none of those guys were really doing the comic relief thing. So
Right.
we were kind of the comic relief, but then we had the big Samoan guy with us that had our backs, So we balanced each other out, and we were different than anybody else,
Right.
and different than anything else that anybody else was doing. So it was all just perfect timing. And then you have to think. Like I believe Stone Cold was out with his neck injury.
Yeah, because he didn't come back to what?
Undertaker was out. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, he didn't come back as badass yet. I think is what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of guys that were out. I know the merchandise guy had told us at the time we were selling more merchandise than anybody except for The Rock.
That
Wow.
is
But those guys
insane.
were out. Rock and Undertaker were out.
But still, like, I mean,
Pretty cool.
The Rock, arguably the biggest movie star there is right now, and you can, hold your hat to that. That next to The Rock, you were the top selling merch, in the company.
cool.
That's amazing. So, and you were talking about comic relief. Still to this day, one of my favorite spots that you ever had, and I think you might have even done it a couple different times, is the bounce on the ropes and then fall into the ring by mistake.
Fall into the ring or fall?
Well, into the ring. So you were doing like the jumping, like you were excited for Brian or Kishi, whoever it was, and then you jump too high and you fall into the ring. And
Fall
you're like,
off the ring.
was it off?
Yeah.
See, I think it was
But I
one
only
that
did
was.
it on TV once.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And
maybe it was just
the
that
night-
once.
It was actually I did it on the 9/11 show. The night we did that.
Maybe it was Brian then. Maybe I was thinking it was
We
Brian.
used to do a thing where he would run at me and like run to give me a hug, but he would slingshot me in, and I would fall in with him. But I would do on the live events. I would do it every night where I'd get bounced, and he'd do one thing when in the match, a little something, and then I'd bounce a little bit, and then he'd do something a little bit bigger, and I'd get more excited. I'd bounce a second time, and the third time he'd do something really big, and I'd get really bouncing, and he would look over and put all the focus on me and be like, "Hey, dude, stop!" And just then I would miss the rope, and I would fall off the apron. It was awesome though because the way it worked was. People would see me bouncing, they would start to laugh because I'd get really high, they'd laugh, and then I'd fall off, huge reaction, and then I'd get back up and just hold the rope, like, okay, nobody saw that, right? And then it was, this goes back to like working the crowd, and you could feel it, like you could hear it start to build, like, so I'd get up there and I'd just like, oh, nobody saw me, nobody saw me, right?
Just played
And
it
then
off.
all of a sudden they'd come up huge, and you get this huge reaction, and then I would turn around and be like, heck yeah, I meant to do that. And then they would come up again. So, and then Brian, dude, we had like our whole thing that a lot of people never saw we never did a lot of this stuff on TV. So from that, I mean, this was all one long thing. So all that stuff I just told you, and then Brian, I would get back up there and get that reaction and start to settle back down. Brian would start laughing at me. He'd laugh, and then
I can hear the laugh now, by the way.
he would turn around, and just when he would turn around, I would sneak in from behind, and we'd wear those baggy pants, so I would pants him. You know, and then I don't know where I can go on this show. I would just break into a hysterical laugh, like belly laugh, like over the top, rolling around on the mat laughing. And then to the point where people would I would laugh, and they would be laughing at me at first, and then it would come down to be like, all right, dude, that's overkill. But just when I was feel it start to bottom out, I'd come up and I go, I saw it, it's this big. And then he'd be like, no, it's this big. And then like, dude, it was like a 10-minute spot. Then we hit the worm and we roll us up and we go home.
No, you talked about the worm. So how did this originate?
Actually, I started doing it as just Scott Taylor and Too Much. I don't know if you remember, at one point they had put us with the guys on the motorcycles, DOA. Mm-hmm. And Brian and I would come out on the backs of the motorcycles, just holding on. We had pink helmets on, and who knows where they're going with that. But and we would be with them, and I would just, on our entrance, when we got in the ring, on live events, I would just do the worm. There was no WORM. I would just drop down and do the worm just to make those guys laugh more than anything. Yeah. And so I was doing it. And then once, when Brian tore his ACL, they sent me out onto some live events to do some shows. And I can remember being in Rochester, New York, wrestling Prince Albert, A-Train. Mm-hmm. And laying him out against the ropes and hitting the ropes and stopping and just going down into the worm. And dropping. One night I dropped an elbow. I was trying different stuff, and it wasn't the whole thing. But it was. I could hear the reaction from the crowd that I was getting just from doing the worm. So I knew I had something. Mm-hmm. And then when we came back as Too Cool, now we're dancing guys.
Yeah.
When we come back, so it fit perfectly. And I would lay the guy out, and then I would hop to the other side of the ring. And one night on Raw, Jerry Lawler doing commentary said WORM, and I heard that playback, and I asked him the next day if he would just keep doing it and conditioning the crowd. And sure enough, a month later, everybody was.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I'm at a point where that starts, and because
really
I was trying to figure out, like, you know, where did the WORM start? Because of course you were doing. I think when you were doing the hops, everybody was just doing the who, and then I hear Jerry every once in a while start to do the WORM, and like, oh man, I wonder if that's what it is. And now that you say that, I hear it now. And at first they didn't even call it the worm, didn't they? Call it the caterpillar or something like that. I'm like, what is this? I don't remember them being called that.
It would take forever to spell that out.
And of course, I think we talked about it on Twitter a few weeks ago. I'm at the point where Big Show tries to go Hollywood, seeing him try to do the worm.
I just saw that recently too. And you know what's weird is I don't remember. I don't remember so much of that. But at the time, I mean, I was on the road. I was doing at least 4 shows a week, flying home on the 5th day, sometimes doing media days, sometimes doing autograph sessions. So that whole year was like,
I can imagine,
kind of a blur. So a lot of times I would never even see the playback.
So
we would do it, and then I would never see it, and then, you know, time just goes by, and you kind of forget too. So, but yeah, it's fun to go back and look at that stuff on the network now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Didi, question?
I asked my question.
Okay,
that was the main question.
All right, I'll move on. I wasn't sure if you had anything more or not. So of course you had some great matches with the Radicals.
Yeah.
And then that's where you actually won the first tag team championship, correct?
That was from Edge and Christian.
Oh, was it Edge and Christian? I was thinking it was Radicals. Okay.
Yeah. Who I just saw Christian yesterday and today. He's been out to PC.
Oh yeah, I saw your picture.
So
yeah.
It was cool. It was awesome. It was me and Hurricane's there this week, and A-Train's my boss. You know, which is crazy.
Former tag team partner.
Yeah. So it was the 4. I was like, I walked. I had my class yesterday, and I walked out and. Hurricane was with me, and then I walk out and I see Christian there, and I'm like, "What the heck is like?" If I was like a time, I was in a time. It was awesome. I love all those guys. I love them. Man.
Tommy Dreamer, I think, even tweeting that he's lost to all 3 of you guys or 4 of you guys. Yeah. So, is there any match that actually sticks out to you as being the most memorable for you?
Moment wise, looking back. the Royal Rumble 2000.
Yes.
Did the dance in the middle of the Rumble, the three of us, and then Rikishi threw us out. But that's a cool
That was
moment.
funny.
But then match. I mean, there were so many live event matches that people never saw. They were awesome. But televised wise was probably the 10-man tag that we did on Raw. With it was us and me, Brian Rikishi, The Rock, and Cactus Jack against DX and the Radicals.
That was like what, right before Royal Rumble, correct?
February 2000.
Okay, so right
we're
afterwards.
after.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you had Eddie Guerrero on the outside, Stephanie McMahon on the outside. Kane came back with Paul Bearer. New Age Outlaws.
That's
came
right.
in.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a lot of moving parts.
Oh, man.
And like I could just remember like talking that over beforehand and be like, oh, this is going to be a mess. There's just so much it's on live TV. We're in the main event on Raw, like, and then dude, it was magic. It was in Dallas,
that's so cool.
Dallas, Texas, and just one of those nights. If you go back and you look, and it's just like people are standing through the whole match. It was just crazy. And we were mystery partners. I just remember it was Rock and Mick. And then they had the issue with
Yeah, because I think like DX is like, oh, you got to find some partners, and nobody's going to be your partner or whatever.
So,
and then
so
here goes the.
we were the mystery partners. Yeah, it was cool.
So cool. Now, recently, even a couple years ago, you showed up at NXT live show. It was a rival, correct, to face Heath Slater?
No, actually, I wrestled Heath on just a regular episode of NXT.
Oh, was it
And
just
then Brian
NXT?
and I went back for the first NXT.
Oh, okay.
For our rival.
How was that? Competing on basically the newest stage for WWE.
That was awesome. Awesome. It's like magic out there. Such a hot crowd and so fun. And then to come back with to do the thing with Heath. Heath was super cool. He was doing the thing where he was facing challenging all the legends at the time and stuff, and so that was cool. And then to be on the first NXT pay-per-view.
That's right, because it was
awesome.
you guys versus the Ascension. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So to be on that first thing and then now be a part of it in the capacity that I am is really super cool.
What got you into wanting to go back and coach?
Actually, they'd been trying to get me. They'd talked to me way back before it even came to Orlando. The Performance Center even came to Orlando, and then I was kind of doing the fire thing at the time, going through the fire school and doing the EMT thing, and kind of like trying to pursue something different. And I've always had this thing where I don't want to be just the wrestler.
Okay.
In the back of my, I don't want to be that just. I mean, going back to the Paul Stanley thing of being a kid, like I love what I do and I love what I've been able to do from it. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be, hey, that's the I always will be just the wrestler, but I don't want to be just the wrestler.
I mean, I think you can even add credit as a writer for Attractions Magazine,
That's
correct?
right.
Right?
There you go.
Actually, I think I was in the first.
Was it really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
first
cool.
one, yeah. First, look at this. First NXT pay-per-view. First Attractions Magazine.
71st podcast.
Shoot.
The coaching for NXT.
Yeah, so just I was just doing a lot of things at the time, and I was like, man, I really just want to give the fire thing a fair shot. And then Matt Bloom, who we've been friends for 20 years,
Zucru, right?
became the head coach at the PC, and I went in and did a couple guest weeks with him, and then he asked me to come in, and then finally a real spot opened up to where they needed somebody, and he
That's so
offered
cool.
it to me. And then, dude, I'll tell you what, it's I tell my guys now, like, wrestling was awesome, but seeing guys escalate in their performance, and then knowing like you may have had just a little piece of it. You don't take credit for anybody, but dude, I may have helped that guy. I keep using Elias as an example. Like, I can remember working with him on Florida shows in front of 200 people, and then we did a tour to Japan and Australia, and doing segments with him over there, and like just fine tuning everything every night, and like trying to help him get better, and just it's like I just saw something in him. I knew he had something special, and it's to go from that and then go to New Orleans. Fast forward, not even 2 years, and then see him in front of 84,000 people against John Cena. That's a pretty cool thing to.
It's so
like real quick about that. Like even at his house. We were watching it, and I'm just repeating everything. I was like so
You're at
into it.
Elias's house?
At Mike's house. And so I was just
I
like,
thought he lived at a tour bus.
I wish. But yeah, I think that's so cool that you had a hand in all that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like really neat.
really
And,
cool.
and it's very rare nowadays to see the heel that everybody just wants to hate. And it's funny, like my kids, they like Kevin Owens or they like or Dolph Ziggler or whoever. But like Elias, they love to hate him. And like we all play Supercard. It's the card game that you play on your phone or whatever. And Gavin, he gets angry when he actually picks up an Elias card. So it's so good to see a character that actually is that true heel character. And
Tommaso Ciampa. Same
oh
thing.
my God, he's so good.
Like,
I love him so much.
I was on the road last weekend with him 4 days, and he's magic. He's
He-
awesome. He gets it. He's awesome. Just awesome.
Now you also signed off on someone using your finisher there.
Otis.
Yeah, Otis is
That was
using-
cool though. Like, he had when I first went in there, he had asked me if he could use it, and I said, yeah, that's fine. And then once the Heavy Machinery started on TV, I told him, why don't you do your own thing for a while and don't, because I just feel like every time you do that, they're not thinking about you, they're thinking about somebody else.
Okay.
That being me. Like, I just wanted him to do his own thing and get over on it. And then once they started to get a following and get a reaction from the crowd, then I said, hey, why don't you add the worm back in? So he was very genuinely appreciative.
That's so
very,
cool.
We had a cool conversation.
He,
was
he
very
is a big dude too for being able to
honest.
do the worm.
Dude, I went to Horror Nights with him the other night. He stole the show in every house.
That character that he has, like I love the
You haven't seen
the
nothing
phone
but you've seen
videos.
the
Oh
house
really? Oh, now I'm interested. Now we got to find him one night with the Horror Nights.
Oh, and he's got the same. He got the Frequent Flyer Plus too. So, I'm sure. So you got to look for him.
We'll definitely look at.
Is he a scaredy cat? Is he a scaredy cat as much as I am?
No, he wasn't, but he was kind of working a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But every time somebody pop out with him, he'd do the old Chris Farley over the top. Oh! With this character must have. I think he's having a heart attack.
Oh, it's so cool. Oh man. So who is it that you're most looking forward to moving up to the main roster? You mentioned Tommaso.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. Like you want them to go, but
Yeah.
for selfish reasons. The guys that you're really close with, like man, I don't want them to leave. Like they're kind of like your kids going to college, you know.
Yeah.
So when they leave, man, it's like they leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like they leave, and it's like they're gone, and like they're off, and all of a sudden they're making a lot of money, and they're gone. You know, so it's a weird thing. It's an awesome thing, but I mean, there's so many guys. I mean, Velveteen Dream.
Oh,
you know.
it's so funny because I went to a live event for NXT. I want to say it was like 2 years ago, and he was still doing the whole like Republican type character. I think he had like Donald Trump on his tights and whatnot. And seeing the change in character and how much enthusiasm and charisma he has now as this Velveteen Dream character, it's unbelievable. Still last year, I think I said it to you at WrestleMania when we were watching it, that my favorite match from last year was him and Aleister Black at the NXT show. Oh man, it was he's magic.
He tears it down every night, man.
Great stuff.
He eats, breathes, and sleeps wrestling. He gets it.
Now, 5 years ago, we got to cover the Performance Center, I think not long after it
Yeah, I remember.
opened.
Yeah,
and Dusty Rhodes got to tour us
Yeah, I remember.
around. And
Yeah.
I remember going through the footage, not too long ago, actually. I was looking at all the raw footage, and I'm like looking like, oh my God, all these people that are now like huge in the main roster. We interviewed Xavier Woods, and back then he was like calling himself like the smartest wrestler because he had a
Yeah,
doctorate,
PhD,
a
yeah,
PhD.
yeah.
So it's like so cool to see how quickly so many people have moved on up.
Yeah, it's probably nobody left from that time. I wouldn't think.
No, I don't think so. I think even Rusev was in on some of our footage.
Yeah.
and-
Crazy.
Oh, wow, that's wild.
But of course, we're excited, about all the wrestling stuff. But the big news of the weekend is Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Yes.
So Scott, we were talking to you before the show. You went all three nights.
All 3 nights. I did it for the kids, man. I got to do it for the kids.
So you have all of my respect because we did Friday night, and we did the media event out there, and we were out till 1:30.
Till about 1. Like
About
we
1.
got the last house at about 12:45, I think.
Yeah.
And I was dead
Yeah,
the
I
next
think
day.
we left City Walk at about 2.
Oh gosh!
Yeah.
Oh, more power to you. So Friday night, the event started. Of course, the three of us have said it, and I'm not sure if you guys agree. This was easily the most crowded opening night for Horror Nights I have
think it's the busiest
ever
night I've
seen.
ever seen.
It was absolutely bananas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What was the longest wait that you guys had? Did you guys do the Fast Pass deal?
Yeah, we have the
quick
Express
queue.
with our
Yeah.
ticket. We never actually got to Stranger Things.
Oh,
Every
okay.
time we went over there, it was just like, we'll hit it later, and then we just never did it. But I mean, we did everything. We did everything but Stranger Things, and 3 or 4 houses we did twice. Because
Oh, wow.
We did the early entry for the pass holder thing. So we banged those out without our Express, and then we went back and did 3 or 4 again with the Express. But man, it was crazy. We were in a scare zone there, and what is it? I'm trying to think where all the pumpkins are.
The Harvest.
Harvest.
Yeah, and
No, that's not the Harvest. It's
the
Twisted Traditions. Yeah.
and we couldn't even move going through there.
Yeah,
No,
that's how I was.
When we were on our RIP tour, like we several times we got separated in Vamp and Chucky, where we were like, oh crap, where'd everyone go?
Yeah, because there's
Crazy.
just so many people out
So
there.
popular. Every year it seems like it gets busier and busier.
It was, and I think Stranger Things has a lot to do with it because you were saying you weren't able to do it. We bought at one point it was 200
minutes, I
something
think,
like that, something ridiculous.
And that was like right when Stay and Scream got in line.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, I couldn't believe it. So the first house that we were able to do was
Scary Tales.
Scary Tales. So if you go on to Attractions Magazine YouTube channel, you will see a spry young Dee Dee Francisque jump. Like I've never seen anyone jump before.
He jumped like 5 feet in the air.
It was
Something like that.
It was great. Scary Tales. I don't even remember the previous house. I'm sure you guys do, correct?
That was the 2008. That's
Is what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2008.
Been that long?
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because that was the first year I went, and that was the first house that I ever did.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So all right. So how do you guys done Scary Tales, correct? This one.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think?
Oh, I love it.
Love it?
That witch is awesome.
So
Yeah.
Sod. Wow. My
and
goodness.
that's what I was gonna say. So the first time we walked in, and of course, as you're going down, it's just drapes, just hanging down or whatever. Then you have the tapestries of all the
around
different
the
characters. You make that corner, and you see that facade of the castle, and I was legitimately just blown away just seeing that. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it reminded me of last year with Dead Waters. It was the same thing. You entered, and then you turned that corner, and you saw that sinking
Yeah,
boat.
yeah,
And it's just like,
riverboat.
oh my god!
Yeah.
That's a thing, man. And I posted this the other day. I did a little piece on my Facebook, but just writing like, I was never a horror fan, or I was never really even interested in it.
Oh, wow.
But I went in 2008. A friend of mine had an extra ticket, so I lived here for 4 years before I even went for the first time. He had an extra ticket, and I went, and I said, like, as soon as I did Scary Tales and I saw these sets and like just the work that goes into it is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like it in Orlando. And being the theme park that nerd that I am, like, it's my favorite thing. I mean, we literally count down the days till it.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm on that same boat.
So well done, and like just so much work goes into it, and they just do such a great job. Great job on the sets and everything.
Yeah, and you were saying about the sets is like I don't get scared that easily, other than Poltergeist, but we'll talk about that in a second. And that's what I love going through, looking through each of the queues, or not the queues, but the mazes or the houses, and just seeing the design of everything, and then the makeup that they're doing. Like, it's so funny because I get distracted and I get scared because of it, because I'm like, oh wow, that looks so great. You walking into Scary Tales and you see Hansel and Gretel's the house that they're eating. I don't want to spoil a whole lot for it, but whatever. But then the Rapunzel thing, and you're seeing the hair everywhere.
Yeah.
So we went back into that. We went Sunday night, right? Yeah.
Sunday.
And because when we went on Friday, I didn't realize that she was scalped.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either.
So seeing it Sunday, I'm like, that looks like legit. Like she looked like her hair was ripped out. It's just the makeup is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. The scare factor in Twisted Traditions or Twisted Scary Tales. Dee Dee, you want to talk about that a little?
That bear was stupid. That at the end.
So yeah, I guess a little spoiler. There's a bear at the end that you exit and you think you're safe.
Yeah, I literally walked around in that video thinking like everything's all good. Then all of a sudden, that bear. Man.
I swear I'm gonna like add the Mario jump sound effects.
Oh, you totally should. That would be amazing.
So we don't have it live yet, but we're gonna have the audio from when we were there.
It'll be live by the time this episode.
Okay, so
goes live.
so
I'm gonna post it.
Awesome. So there will actually be audio. We walked around with an audio recorder with all our shenanigans on Friday night, and you'll hear us freak out just a little bit there, just a little.
Just a tad.
So next up we had Carnival Graveyard,
Yes, that was the second one.
which I legitimately think is one of the coolest designed houses I've ever seen.
It's definitely one of those. It's like eye candy. Lots to look at.
Yeah.
In there.
Scott, did you guys do? Yeah, you guys did Carnival, right?
Yeah, yep.
That was one of your most hyped houses that you were excited for.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that, and then like you said, it's awesome. Like I like that whole rundown theme park thing, anyways. So I was really looking forward to that, and then just there's a lot in there to see though.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we've gone through it, see something different, and that's what I like about these things. Man, you go through 100 times, but you
still
stuff
see something
every
else.
time. And
And that's why I'm glad they offer these like daytime tours too for select houses.
we did
or
that
even-
last year.
Oh, you did? You're
Yeah.
gonna do it this year?
I don't know if we'll do it this year. We're right now. I'm thinking I'm going to take my son, who's a huge Horror Nights fan. He wants to do Not Scary Farm.
Oh, yeah.
Not Scary
Oh, okay.
Farm, and
We've got Matt and Jackie out there right now.
I saw they were out there, and then we want to do the Horror Nights out there, and maybe Disneyland. So his birthday's October 20th. So I'm thinking about trying to
perfect.
take
That'd be
him out
nice,
there
nice,
for that.
nice.
Yeah, if he can pay his own way. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you're 13 now. You need to get a job.
come on.
So, like, yeah.
We'll start mowing some lawns.
Paying for everything.
The Carnival Graveyard has one of the few times that I've actually kind of gotten a little bit like,
Oh, see, and I was actually going to bring that
Yep.
up just right now too. So the Love Shack.
yes,
Um,
the kissing characters.
Did you guys get that?
Man.
Oh. So it's funny because I talked to a couple of people at the office today that went and checked out Horror Nights, and they didn't see the spot. So I'm like, oh no, just make sure to go through it again. And
As soon as you enter the Love Shack,
it's basically two characters wearing
some people's faces.
whether it be doll faces or somebody else's faces, whatever, and then they start making out. And I was legitimately like going to throw up. It was like, this is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in a Horror Nights house. It was amazing. I loved it. Nothing.
I thought it was
Oh, so
great.
you look like you're about to say something and it just went dead.
I thought it was great. I'm sorry I made some people mad. I'm
Oh!
sorry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so this house,
yeah.
It
So
has a
what-
button
what
that
did you
can
do,
press.
Deeds?
I kind of pressed the button on Tim Tracker. I'm really sorry.
And got soaked.
You
So
got
yeah,
soaked.
it's like towards the front of the house, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like near
There's
the
a big red button. You
really?
you mash it and you're getting
And
sprayed.
like 2 or 3 people in front of you get hit by a bunch of water.
But I'm every time I see a button, I always I have
have
to
to,
run.
yeah.
I have to run, and I don't care. I'm pushing everyone out of the way. I'm like, press the button. And I hit the wrong people. I'm sorry.
Minute.
Lucky you didn't get on the camera.
Yeah.
oh gosh, that thing looked like it was like $3,000, bro. 4K.
So after that, they brought us around to each of the scare zones, correct?
Yeah. I think after that we rested and then we went through Vamp and Killer Clowns.
So Vamp, of course, this was your first time seeing the dedication to Brian, correct?
Yep.
What'd you think about it? It was pretty cool,
That
huh?
was pretty cool. It was pretty neat.
Yeah. Walking through and seeing all the different characters from the 80s. You know, we who were some of the characters? We saw Prince.
Prince, Michael Jackson.
I saw Boy George.
See,
Yeah.
somebody at work was telling me about that today, and I didn't think I saw Boy George at all. So
think I've only
he's
seen him
wondering if
once.
they're changing out
Maybe.
like the different characters, or who
Yeah,
they look
yeah,
like
yeah.
or whatever.
depending on
Yeah.
the rotation of the set. Yeah.
Like one of the most obscure ones that we saw was
Oh, Clarice from Cherise from Coming to America.
you remember Lisa's sister from Coming to America? There was a
been a while
girl
since
that's
I've
dressed
seen.
just like her. We're like, I'm pretty sure that's who that's
cool.
supposed to be. Yeah, super obscure. Really quick, before we went out there, we were talking to Blake Braswell. He was the lead director in all the different scare zones, and we were talking to him about Vamp 85 and like how often the ball drops and how often the Thriller dance is. So he was saying like there's sets of 45 minutes, correct?
Yeah, 45 minutes. Yeah.
In those 45 minutes, there's 2 ball drops and 1 Thriller dance. So he didn't say specifically, what the times are or whatever, but in that 45 minutes, you can definitely see plenty of shenanigans going on.
Cool.
And the coolest part is he's saying a lot of the dancers that are up there for Thriller and for the ball drop are dancers from Bill and Ted from years past.
That's cool.
That's great.
So you'll notice a lot of even the guitar gimmick or whatever. Yeah.
I actually learned my first one of my first YouTube lessons from Vamp 85.
Uh-oh.
Copyright.
So I put my video. So I put my video up, and then a few hours later, I got an email, and AC/DC's "Shoot to Thrill."
Oh,
in the
man.
background, it said that they had claimed, the record company had claimed it. So I was like, oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna beat up Angus Young. I swear I could take him, like 5 feet tall, 70 years old. No, so I mean, I get it totally. Trust me, from what I do, I get it. There's some dart player in England who stole Scotty Too Hotty. So, the name.
Wait, this is legit? Like somebody? Man.
Darts? Yeah, darts.
Oh,
darts
wow.
or bowling? I think it's darts.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So you
man.
gotta get tricky though. It's as long as it's under 20 seconds for the audio, then you're totally fine.
Really?
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
not-
I learned the hard
I deal
way.
with this all the time with Trash Magazine, and I found out like 20, 25 seconds or less,
Yeah.
you can get away with
Well,
it.
the funniest one that we ever got was we were doing Winter Summerland over at Blizzard Beach, the miniature golf thing, and of all the freaking songs, it was the dog barking Jingle Bell song.
Really?
It was bark, 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 bark. I'm like, really?
I remember
This
that.
is where we got the copyright claim? Was for this stupid song? Are you
Somebody
kidding me?
wants to claim to own that?
I know, right? Was it Rover himself that
I
did
can't
it? Yeah, it was. And I think the other one before that was, I think it was a Christmas one where it was
Christmas ones will get you.
Trans-Siberian. You know,
Yeah.
we were doing like the lights
they'll get
and
you.
oh man,
I
but
just thought as long as it was in the background that it was okay, and so I learned a lesson.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they don't care. Like we have a Raptor video from Universal Hollywood, and you can hear the Jurassic Park theme in the background.
I got you.
And yeah, we rebooted it several times, and they're just like, no, if you do it one more time, like you're gonna get a strike. I was like,
Oh,
sorry, my bad. So after Vamp 85, they took us around to Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is legitimately one of my favorite movies of all time. Very excited to see it. Seeing so many different homages from the movie itself, whether it be the balloon dog, the bag full of popcorn, the cotton candy hanging up, the shadow puppets
shadow
up on the
puppets,
wall, which is
yeah.
really cool. There's another thing we were talking to Blake about before we went out there, that they actually utilize the projections from the nighttime show. That they, of course, you'll notice the tent colors, the yellow and the red up there, but it's like every 10 minutes or so we notice that they're doing the whole shadow puppet where it would be, the ooh la la dancer, the elephant, and then the T-Rex coming down to eat all the people. Oh man, the masks on these characters, these clowns, are so cool. It looks like legit right out of the movie.
yeah, it's really cool. I actually got a direct message last night because I had my opening Horror Nights video that I put up. We ended it with one of the clowns.
Oh yeah, and he's like waving to you or
slow
whatever.
motion
Yeah.
waving, and he asked me if I could send him the video clip because he said he was friends with the clown.
Oh, all right.
So, that's cool. So I sent him all the whole raw footage of it. So
Now, Didi, you said in the past that you don't get the whole Killer Clowns from Outer Space
I
thing.
don't get it.
But what did you think of the Scare Zone?
It's a neat scare zone. It's really cool. I like it. It's a cool scare zone. I'll probably check out the movie again. I
just
still
like-
don't get it.
Yeah.
This is one of those check your brain out the door and
Yeah,
just enjoy
yeah,
the
yeah.
camping.
I do that a lot. I watch your typical Impossible White Man movies. Commando, Predator. Those are all
Skyscraper.
those Skyscraper. Check your brains out, and then
Hey. Do not speak ill
Don't-
of the
don't.
Fast and Furious here.
blasphemy. But Killer Clowns is definitely that movie where I'm just like,
You were getting hit on by the female clown Sunday night.
hey, she's a piece of work. Hello, nurse. Yes.
At that point, did we go check out another house, or do we?
Yeah, at that point we head to Stranger Things.
Ah, that's right. So, where Stranger Things, I think, is not a scary house, it may be one of the coolest designed IPs. Like, you legitimately feel like you're walking into this TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It does almost like, shot for shot for, like, the beginning of the show to towards the end of the season or whatever. And compared to Hollywood, where you're seeing Hollywood has, the mannequins, I guess you could say.
Lots of black curtains.
Yeah. Where we have actors and actresses that look almost exactly like these characters. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Shout out to whoever casted Will. Good lord.
Oh my god! Yeah,
She was.
no.
I guess it was a she. I think
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a she. It looked like she.
him and Joyce. Joyce
Oh,
looked
yeah.
yeah.
Look-
Joyce
almost
looked
identical to
looked like
Winona
Winona
Ryder.
Ryder. Yeah. It was crazy. Demogorgons coming at you.
So many.
They can open and close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was the one that almost looked like what's the one dinosaur from Jurassic Park? Yeah, that just opens up, and that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, man,
Dilophosaurus.
yeah. So cool. And of course the music, with it just making it seem even that much more spooky. And that was one you said you didn't get to do yet, right?
We didn't do it on opening night.
Oh, on opening.
We've been back a couple times since. And awesome. Like I've only seen I think 4 episodes, but it was enough to get. Like,
it's so
this is
good.
cool.
Yeah, really
So
cool.
well done. So well done.
And I missed a scene because I was reviewing the B-roll that Universal sent out to media, and apparently I missed a scene in the living room with the Christmas lights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's Joyce, banging her axe against the wall, and then there's a wall next to her that is like apparently rubber, and you see the Demogorgon trying to push through.
What?
Apparently, we walked by and we missed that.
I didn't see
I didn't see that. Yeah.
Haven't seen that.
Interesting. I'll have to
So
check that
keep
one
an
out
eye out
again.
for that.
Well, as long as we can get past that, 300 minute wait that it's going to be for the rest of the season. After that was the Get Hype House of the year, correct?
Poltergeist.
So I think I had Poltergeist on my hype level list. Like it was towards the top. I think it was like top 4. I think is what it was. Poltergeist is legitimately like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen as a kid because of that clown. That clown is terrifying.
Yeah,
It ruined my son for years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I think he was 5 when I showed it to him.
Oh,
really?
I think that's about the age that I
I
saw
don't
it.
remember it being that scary, and I felt so bad afterwards because I didn't remember it being scary.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an 80s movie, so I was like, that's
Yeah, it's
like
PG
Gremlins. It's like
and-
Gremlins.
Yeah.
So I watched it with him, and then, dude, I'm telling you, like he was terrified of clowns for years, terrified. And then, at 12 years old, 10 years old, he went to Horror Nights for the first year, the 25th. Yeah, and Jack.
Oh, Jack, yeah.
And Jack was there, and then now he's got Jack pictures in his room, pictures with Jack and Chance, and like Jack figure. It's like crazy.
But has he gone through this house?
Yeah.
How do you feel about?
He was fine. Now.
Okay.
He's fine now, but man, it ruined him for years.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm a close to 35-year-old man, and I grew up like your son, terrified of this clown doll. I was fine as we're going into this house. I loved the way that it opened, that you're going into the pool. Like you actually hear us in the audio, and I think even the video.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, we're walking into the pool. I loved walking into the little catacomb area or whatever.
You move the headstone.
Yeah, they moved the headstones. Walking into the light was super cool, especially when Banks, you got scared pretty good there.
I got a good scare with the first scene after you enter the light. They got me really good there.
But it was not until the whole house is being taken over by that doll, by that clown. I almost turned around. I had a you moment from our escape room a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God!
I was legitimately terrified. Like I couldn't move. All I did was look up, and I see that doll stretched over everything,
coming down.
and coming down at you. I was so legitimately terrified.
That was cool.
If you go and listen to the audio of the houses, you just hear him whispering, talking to himself like, "This is my worst nightmare. I don't like this at all."
And then the big one coming at you, the big
big
face,
head,
like,
yeah.
right now. Oh my God! Oh, I think Poltergeist may be my favorite IP house that they've ever done.
Yeah, it's
I think it was so well done.
Yeah.
So well done.
So was Zelda in the movie, or was it Zelma? Zelma, is that the whoever that this house is clean?
Oh, I think she was only represented in voice in the house.
But just voice, okay?
Yeah,
Because
don't
I
think-
thought I saw somebody say that she was actually in the house itself, but I didn't see her.
Maybe she rotates with the cast. Because
Okay.
I know, like with Stranger Things, like y'all said you didn't see Lucas at all, and I found out that he is like set. Say you have cast A,
Okay.
he's in cast B.
Oh,
So
okay.
he switches out with like Nancy.
Oh, okay.
So like maybe one time you'll see Nancy, the next time you go through you'll see Lucas. So
Okay, okay.
maybe it's like
Maybe
that
it's
with,
like that.
with another
Maybe.
character. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that's what I read, is that somebody said that they saw her in the house or whatever. But I did hear her, but I just didn't see anything. Dee Dee, what'd you think of that one? You were freaking out pretty good at that one as well.
That was the scariest house.
I've never seen anyone like who was walking
man.
behind me push me to the side to get in front of me.
That was a terrifying house. I think I was more scared of that house than
The Thunder
Scarecrow.
knows that we're talking about
Oh, it's
Poltergeist.
thunder! Great.
Oh man.
So what did you guys think of it?
Poltergeist?
Yeah.
It was my favorite house.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, favorite. Yeah, easily. Yeah. The opening scene is just like crazy.
And you feel the rain and all that, just
Yeah.
the details.
This is madness. That whole house, absolute madness.
And I think how cold it was in there too, they just enhanced it even further. 'Cause it's funny because even in the video, you hear Dee Dee the entire time. It's so cold. Why is it so cold? Like I didn't get it at first, but I'm just like, yeah, I guess it just kind of freaks you out a little bit more. Of like, why is it so
The
cold here?
spirits and all that stuff.
So after Poltergeist, we headed to
I think we went to Academy of Villains, and then we started to do. Oh, then we went to Blumhouse.
Blumhouse.
'Cause at that point, we had done the 4 soundstage
Okay.
houses, and then we went to see Academy of Villains, and then we did Blumhouse because it's right there next to the
Well,
theater.
Academy Villains, I love the show. That was my first time actually ever seeing them for a Horror Nights show. Besides the
Fast and
Fast and
Furious
Furious
opening.
thing that we saw for the grand opening, I loved it. I'm into the music. I'm into the dancing. I've already told her on Twitter I'm in love with Revolt. She's gorgeous, and just the way that these guys are dancing and gals, it just. Is so much power between each movement that they're doing, and you just feel the love that they have for the show, and I loved it.
Yes, neat show. It was a neat show. I don't like it as much as last year though, but I think it was a really cool show.
So you were even telling me on Friday before that you're not sure if you're going to see them again just because of the way that it's laid out at Bill and Ted or at the Bill and Ted.
I mean, I'll see
stage.
them again, but I won't see them like every single day. I'll probably maybe go once a week or something like that, just because I don't feel like waiting. And then before years pass, all you had to do is just walk up.
Walk
and
right up.
That was it.
Now, did you guys go out
I
and
haven't
check?
seen it. My daughter went, but I haven't seen it yet.
Do you plan on seeing it?
Yeah, probably.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm the demographic.
There's a lot of bass there that makes your ears
Yeah,
kind of ring.
Listen here, old man over there, Banks. Oh, I can finally hear again. Ugh.
I didn't say that.
no, somebody else with us. But yeah, you were saying afterwards we went to Blumhouse, where I can appreciate the scares. I don't think it translated as well as I think I would hope it would have.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Happy Death Day. I get the premise that it's basically horror,
Groundhog Day.
yeah, Groundhog Day in a horror form or whatever. But I think like seeing the same scene over and over and over again.
With the Roddy Piper poster in there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, when they live, yeah. I marked out for that, and then the really cool looking Back to the Future poster that I don't think I've ever seen
I know
before.
what that
I'm like,
was.
it's really cool looking. But it just I don't know. It wasn't.
And I think I was kind of like, every scene I was like, I'm very aware that that's a mannequin laying in the bed. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen the movie either.
Did you guys see that one, Blumhouse?
Yeah, we did that. That was our first house we did on opening night, actually. So we were pretty fired up going through that.
Oh, okay,
the first
okay.
time. So it was like, hey, I can remember just telling Keegs, like, it's finally here, buddy. As we're going through the door, it's finally here. Like, because they said we could like, count down. And, and we always say, before you know it's going to be gone again, and they're going to rip all this stuff down. And, so that was our first one. So we were pretty fired up when we went through there. So I thought it was good. I don't get my expectations too high on that one, but I enjoyed it. I haven't seen Happy Death Day either, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's like I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm hoping that once because the cast was definitely trying. They might have got me. I think once last night. I think it was the Purge side or whatever that they got me. But I think like once the cast gets their groove, and then they'll be finding ways to scare the poop out of you. After that, we went over to Seeds, right?
Yes, we did all the tent and prairie building houses. I think we started off with Dead Exposure.
Oh, all right, yeah. So Dead Exposure. That has the potential to be one of the scariest houses there is because you cannot see a damn thing in front of you.
Yeah, no, I need to go through it again just because, like, we're there as media and I'm getting video and I'm concentrating on how the hell am I getting these shots? Like, every time the lights go out and come back on, things are going out of focus. Right. So I wasn't really getting to really pay attention and enjoy the maze as much as I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So I need to go back and do it just without the camera.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Although the subway effect was pretty awesome.
I was going to say, the subway effect is one of the
that,
coolest effects I've ever seen in a house.
It's one of the one of the best scenes in there, man. It was great, and like you said, the strobe lights, and then the monkeys.
Oh yes,
I
yeah.
thought they were animatronics the first time I went through
So
there.
did we.
So that was pretty cool. But and then the times with the light, it just goes completely dark, and the lights come back on, and it's this character right there. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I love Paris anyways, so I was looking forward to that, the whole Paris theme. So very cool.
Yeah, we tried doing it again Sunday, but I guess they've been having technical difficulties. Both Saturday and Sunday, it shut down for quite a bit of time.
Oh.
So we were maybe 30, 40 feet away from the entrance,
legit.
and they came out and said, "Hey, we're shut down. We don't know when we're coming back up." We're oh, okay, we'll go do something else or whatever. So after that, I think that's when we did Seeds, right?
Yeah, no. After that was Slaughter Cinema because they're right next to each other.
That's right. All right. Slaughter Cinema.
Heck yeah.
This is probably my favorite original
House, yeah. I think was one of the coolest. I mean, not in scary terms, but just the
comedy house.
Yeah, you got to have it. One of the coolest concepts, and basically they were talking about it during the media event, or was it the RIP tour? That it was just
they talked about it at the media event. I think it was Patrick Baylor that talked about it.
It was all the leftover stuff that they had ideas for. They just threw it all into one house, and boy, did this ever come together amazingly. So hopefully I don't get crap for saying it on here, but my favorite scene is
you can say because I didn't bleep it out.
It's the name of the movie called Shitty's Kids. It's basically
Shitty's Kitties.
Shitty's Kitties, is that what it was?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You basically a Chuck E. Cheese.
That's an actual name,
Yeah, like a Chuck E. Cheese, and the kids are losing their mind, and I laughed so hard in this scene.
There's this character that is being attacked by a kid, and it's on them. And, I think he was dressed up as a character.
Yeah, almost like an animatronic type deal. Yeah.
I did see that.
And then what was the Swamp Yeti? I think what it was.
Swamp Yeti
and the Cult of the Beast Baby.
Yeah.
I listened to the audio and I heard you saying "Oh, where's the baby?" And the baby was right there.
We were expecting
the lights would go off, the eyes turned red.
I think what we were expecting this huge, animatronic, baby or whatever, and here it's just this tiny little baby with red eyes in a cage.
Oh, I missed it.
The barbershop scene too.
Yeah, barbershop.
Yeah, barbershop.
Yes.
But
Barbershop.
the one that I kept laughing at because of how good it got Banks was the snack one. Or what was it called? I can't remember. It looked like
the pumpkin one.
No. It was they almost looked like critters. You remember the
swarming,
the giant
house swarming, or
is that
something
what it was?
Like that.
Yeah,
So
house
they
swarming.
had the tiny ones, and all of a sudden you make that corner, and here's this huge puppet that comes after you, and you got pretty good.
I nearly dropped the camera.
But I love that whole grindhouse style that that they put together with this one. It's so super over the top. I mean, the Amazon cannibal from Planet Hell, I think is what it's called. Just
funny.
Oh gosh, is there a scene that sticks out to you in there, Scott?
The Yetis are pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys know the barber, the barber that pops out in the barbershop scene. He's the guy. It's the same guy playing. He was in The Shining last year. I recognized him.
Oh really?
Is the one behind the bar?
Is he behind the bar? I think he's just he's the barber. He pops out from behind a wall, I think. But last year he was in a suit and he had a glass and he would just. It seemed like he was popping out every other person. So he would say, "Great night." What he said, "Great night for a party, isn't it? Great night for a party, isn't it?" And it was you could hear it coming. And then you go by it, and you could still hear him saying it. So when I go by him, I think I'm going to say, "Great night for a party." I was going to do it the other night.
It reminds me of the Meets one, from a few years ago, because you had the Meets character or whatever, and I think when we were walking past, I'm like, "Hey, it's Mario." It's why does everybody always say that? So it was how many times did he get the whole Mario thing? But I
think the one scene I didn't see anything in was the biker dogs. Because when we walked through the scene, this fog was so thick in there, I didn't see any characters in there. So.
Yeah, he was on the bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
It was such a good one. All right, so now we go over to Seeds.
Now we go over to Seeds.
All right, so we did it Friday, and I think we might have had a cash change because I didn't get too good on Friday.
I mean, I got on video a lot of them.
Really? Okay,
out,
so maybe they just weren't hitting me; they were hitting you.
No, I remember there was I think a couple people either in front of us that were getting it all. Yeah. There was a couple people. There was this lady in front of you that was getting all the scares, and we were just like, ah.
That's right, because I went in first. Yeah, the RIP tour was like, "Oh yeah, you go ahead" or whatever. But we went Sunday night, and I tell you what, the time to go into this house is coming in from the daylight.
Dude,
because
that's when we did it.
right?
Yeah.
Because you can't tell what is a character, what is the house or whatever. I got or you get scared. I probably 5-6 different times in this house on Sunday.
It's a dark house.
Yeah.
We were actually, I don't know if we were the first ones, but there was nobody at all in front of us.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
No way.
We did the, like I said, the pass holder early entry thing. So we went to that right after Blumhouse, and there was nobody. And so I was the first one, and I couldn't see a thing. And I was literally having to reach. And I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going into somebody's scare space
right.
or I'm in a- like, I didn't know where I was going, but that was crazy when you get.
Yeah, I love it because there's so many different characters that really do blend in with the surroundings, whether it be the wall or whatever.
Only where they
And then-
outstretch their arms, you see like
Yeah.
the teeth and everything.
And then you have the ones that are on the stilts, I guess you could say.
yeah.
I guess you could say it or whatever. Towards the end of it, that just look amazing. And I think this is really going to be the closest thing to a Last of Us house video game on PlayStation, of course, that we're going to get. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's really neat. Again, Sunday we got cursed again with the girl in front of us.
Oh yeah, she kept getting scared. Yeah,
kept getting scared. So we're just like, jeez. But you still couldn't see a thing, and so I was always worried. And I did get got near the end with the mouse.
then we had Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. Yes.
Recently saw the movie, so I was really excited to check out that. Such a cool design of actually matching up for the movie.
I think, and y'all mentioned in the audio perfectly. It's a fan service house.
Oh yeah,
It's more about putting you in those scenes.
Have you seen Trick or Treat before going into the house, Scott?
Well, I kind of sort of watched it last year. When
Okay.
I did Scare Zone. I was doing something and like trying to watch at the same time. I need to go back and watch it. The kids watched it, and but I thought the Scare Zone was awesome last year. And then we
Loved
only
it.
did the house. We did the house once. I guess we did opening night, and that was it.
Okay.
I haven't been back to that one yet, but definitely want to do that again.
Yeah, it was cool. I actually did that one twice on Friday or Sunday because I got in there as soon as park opened, and of course there was nobody in line for it. I'm walking out, texting Dee like, "Hey, this is where I am." He's like, "Oh, let's go do it again," because we met up right there in front of ET and went and did it again. It's just such a fun house to go through, especially you have the one character towards the front where it's Sam on top of him attacking him, but it's one of the suits where it looks like there's another character on top, but it's him. I love those characters. I love that. It's really cool looking, and it's the simple stuff, like especially those the old looking Halloween costumes that just super creepy. You see on like the BuzzFeed poster or whatever.
Trick-or-treaters,
Man, it'll just give you the little heebie-jeebies. After that was the Last house, correct? Was Halloween?
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
That one. Yes. Halloween 4.
What a quick turnaround they did. That's all I have to say. I thought Sunday they were on point.
I don't know if it's just because of how exhausted we were, or even how exhausted the characters were. Yeah. Friday night we really didn't get scared, whatsoever.
Got a couple of ones, but yeah.
But last night they were on point.
Oh my god, I almost ran out of that house the last quarter of it. I don't know what it was. They just all kept coming out, and I was a baby.
Shout out to whoever plays Loomis, because the one that is in there towards the end last night, he looked almost exactly like Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was the same guy from was it Halloween last year or the year before?
Halloween
Halloween
2 years
2
ago.
2 years,
years
yeah.
ago. Because that guy was right on too.
Oh.
I was wondering if it was the same guy.
Yeah, it looked great. Overall, this really has the potential, in my eyes, of being my favorite Halloween Horror Nights ever. I'm having so much fun, and it's only been 2 days for me so far, and got the frequent fear, so I'm gonna be going out plenty.
Yeah, same here. It's really not a bad house. You can't say this.
No, I mean, yeah.
The scare zones are awesome. I thought the Vamp 85 might be my favorite scare zone ever. Just,
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
yeah.
Better than
being an
the.
80s child. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like, grew up in the 80s and just the music was awesome.
Oh yeah. I think that's what my favorite part is.
Just don't film that music.
Now, are you a scaredy cat?
No, not really. I mean, they'll get me. And
Oh, they will.
So you're not Al Snow, is what you're saying? Because I walked through a house with Al Snow. This was back when both him and Mick were working TNA back in the day, and Al legitimately was scared to death walking into these houses.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done a haunted house with him. I've done a lot of theme parks with it.
But yeah, I'm super excited for this year. Scott, I don't know if you guys took advantage of it, but I didn't realize until Saturday that they were offering the Frequent Fear Pass Cup Did you
Oh,
guys see
really?
about this?
No.
So it's $30. You know, it's like the Coke Freestyle machines that you can get inside the park or whatever. But it's $30, and you can only buy it if you're a frequent Fear Pass ticket holder, and it works until the end of Halloween Horror Nights.
wow.
So we were doing it. Of course, you know how hot it is. Having some Gatorade or whatever it is that you need, just for that $30 flat fee. And apparently, it works during the day, during those days of
That's
Halloween
awesome.
Horror Nights
I
as
think
well.
My daughter got that, or my daughter's boyfriend, and he gave it to her. This must have been the same thing.
Yeah,
So
probably.
She had one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if you're out there for frequent Fear Pass, definitely take advantage of that. I think they said you can get it at Mel's, Richter's, and Monsters Cafe. I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Because we went somewhere originally, and they're like, "Yeah, no, you can't get that here. You have to go over wherever else or whatever." But yeah, I cannot believe how much this has lived up to the hype that I had for Horror Nights.
Yeah.
We've been going into the event talking about on here how excited we were that this may be like the most hyped we've ever been for the event, and man, I think it's lived up to everything that we could have hoped for.
Yeah,
I agree.
And then it's only weeks away when the evolution starts, when they start knowing what they're doing, and then it's going to be hell. I'm not looking forward
In
to
a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah. So
Right.
they're just going to know like how to scare you even
Yeah.
further.
Yeah, Poltergeist. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. in my 4 weeks.
Go through that the last week of the event.
But and that's what I find so fascinating about this year is like how good the characters were off the bat. Like I don't think I ever got so scared just on the first night. Like man, these guys know what they're doing this year.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a lot of repeat team members coming back and knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But man, I'm so excited to go for the 19 or whatever days I have left on the frequent Fear Pass.
Right.
And as they said during the media event, like they're already hard at work on 29.
Which I really do hope that they're just going to go ahead and make it all of September and maybe even some August dates
I mean,
as
the
well.
fact they moved Rock the Universe to February.
That's what we keep thinking.
Maybe.
Halloween Horror Nights year round.
I'd be fine with that.
Year-round house.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. How about Hallow Scream? You guys going?
We're going Friday.
Yeah, we're actually going Friday. This is me and Dee Dee's
First
first time
and
ever
I'm-
going.
And I'm
That's awesome. Tell me
I'm
it's
deathly
awesome.
terrified. Like legit
I
terrified.
love Hallow Scream. And I was telling them before we started recording how, like, Hallow Scream definitely has a much more kind of intimate feel than Horror Nights. And there are some points where you might be going through on your own.
Heck no.
That happened to us in Bayou. It was,
Yeah.
it was,
I love that.
and that's coming back this year, or at least like a sequel to
I
it,
think
correct?
it's a lot of Hallow Scream really likes to bring back a lot of houses.
Okay.
That's a good one. The Bayou House is
Really?
Yeah, that's worth bringing back. I think there's only 2 new houses this year. I think.
Wow. So will they be the exact same layout too?
Yeah, the exact same
Oh, wow,
layout.
okay.
So like Unearthed, Deathwater Bayou, Motel Hell, they will all be the exact same layout.
Wow. Yes, I'm really excited for it. Like I said, I've never been out to Hallow Scream before. I've been to Busch Gardens 20 bazillion different times, but never been out to the Hallow Scream. So I'm
That'll be
excited to
audio for
see.
next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm excited to see DDCO running out of the houses.
I'm so scared.
Just here's a tease. You remember in the Carnival Graveyard, the clown that was up on top, and he would fall down and bungee back up.
Yeah.
Just know, Hallow Scream loves their bungees.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I'm just gonna have you hold the audio recorder the entire time
Bungees
next
and
week.
big puppets, not a fan.
Really quick before we get out of here, so we got some new releases this week. So we got The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
Yeah, apparently it's based off a best-selling children's book.
Yeah, Jack Black, Keith Blanchett.
Yeah, and it's directed by Eli Roth.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's his first family film.
I was gonna say I don't think he's ever done family stuff before.
Yeah, so
Right?
I'm really interested to see how he does it.
My kids are really excited. They want to go see it. I don't know if they've ever read the book before, but they really want to check it out. You have Assassination Nation, which we actually got a preview for this when we went and saw The Nun. Correct? This was the one that kind of looked
like the Purge.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a Purge thing, but it was like all based off of the internet or something. Like they took
it's like
the
a-
internet away from these kids and they all lose their minds.
Okay.
So I'm sure that could possibly happen.
Sounds like reality.
And then you have whether you like it or you don't like it, it's going to be a big movie this weekend. It's going to be Fahrenheit 9/11 or 11/9. It's the new Michael Moore movie,
film.
so that's out this weekend as well.
I
And
love how you have listed in our games, just go play Spider-Man.
Yeah, because there's really not any more big games coming out right now. But yeah, go play Spider-Man.
And play Destiny 2 Forsaken.
No.
It's very good. It's very good. I'm enjoying it more and more the more I play. It's very good.
Scott, do you play any video games at all?
I'm really, really good. Probably the best in the world at Miss Pac-Man.
Oh, so I'm not gonna. I love Miss Pac-Man. I always preferred that over
the
Mr.
arcade version, of course.
Yeah. Because I always used to play on the. God, was it Disney Quest? They used to have up in the
Yeah.
the top floor where they
Frogger
had
and
like one of
Donkey
like the table ones where you go and
that's
play it
right.
like that. Yeah.
But they had the old 80s, all the 80s games up there in the Disney Quest.
Yeah.
I miss
Now we
it.
got the NBA experience.
Woo.
Real quick question though, how do you feel about Illuminations?
Oh yeah. So I didn't bring
Oh,
that up in the
yeah.
news.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk about that. So
That's,
Illumination's going away.
It's sad, you know.
Thank you.
Um,
Someone's on my side.
I didn't say it wasn't sad.
It's
I
sad.
enjoy Illuminations, but I think it's time for a change.
it's time for a change, yeah. But I think it's part of, you know, it's not only the attraction. It's like you have memories at that attraction. You know, I mean, I think like through my whole kids' lives. They're 13 and 16. I can remember walking around with my daughter who's 16 in a stroller carrying her, and there's the exit music as you're walking out,
Yeah.
and it's saying Taylor, whatever it's saying, but her name is Taylor, so I would sing the.
Oh,
it
that's so
wasn't the
cool.
Olympic-
I
But
love
so I
it.
think about that, you know, and I think that's what when anytime an attraction closes, more the memories there than it is the actual attraction. You
Yeah.
know?
But, you know, Disney can't take away those memories.
The memories remain, Dee.
I just hope that they still do these like epic finales like 4th of July and Christmas after they change the show.
Yeah, you won't see those anymore. Just saying.
We don't know
Just
yet,
saying.
Didi. We still
Saying.
have a year left, so it's not like it's closing next week. It's
Yeah, you
closing
still got
next summer.
you got a
Shock.
year left. 20 years it's been around. Don't you think that's enough?
No. Illumination should stay around forever. If they update it, maybe in terms of
They're gonna update it by-
maybe a new globe.
No. Just get rid of the whole globe thing. That's the worst
No.
part of Illuminations.
No, you
Illuminations
won't-
is the best fireworks on property.
It is.
Get rid of the globe.
Man. Nothing's that. All I gotta say is nothing. No fireworks show is ever going to beat the 25th anniversary from 5 years ago. Oh my god. Like it was just nonstop. It was so amazing. The dude behind me had a heart attack.
Like a legit heart attack?
Legit heart attack.
Oh my god.
That's how
dude took a turn.
intense and crazy those fireworks were.
Those are some good fireworks.
Some great fireworks. Oh, I'm never gonna forget that for the rest of my life.
As long as
Did you get video of the heart attack?
No, but he literally all of a sudden, like as soon as it was over, he goes, "Oh my god, I think I'm having a heart attack," and he dropped to the ground.
Oh my
That
god.
was wild.
Wow.
It was
Is he
wild.
okay? Do we know?
I don't know. I ran away. I'm not gonna lie, I felt terrible. He had family. I had to run
Scott, being a trained, with a medical, is it paramedic?
The only thing I'm really trained in is professional wrestling.
Oh.
I went to school, but I don't remember anything.
I mean, you would at least done the worm in order to help him
elbow
come
drop
back
on
or
the
something,
chest,
right?
you know?
Get it set right.
But I'm excited to see something new come to
I have
Epcot.
really good faith in them, though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
People
yeah.
lost their mind when they made the Wishes announcement.
Oh,
and
I'm
it's
still upset about that.
I like Hippo
I
Ever After though.
Still haven't seen the new show.
Yeah.
I still haven't been out
I
there.
haven't been to Toy Story Land.
See, yeah, I haven't either.
What?
Just like Magic Kingdom is just so busy. I was just like, I don't
You're
want to
out.
go deal with it right now. Just
It's the hassle of leaving the park. It's just-
the monorail.
especially when the monorails
Just- just
are down.
the monorail. Oh, the
Monorail.
monorail. Please fix those. Yeah, don't get rid of Illuminate. Okay, so the other thing, I forgot to actually write this down. The gondolas that are going
Oh, the
going up.
rumor about no air conditioning.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about that?
If they have no air conditioning, like why would I want to get on there in the summer,
Oh
especially?
my god! Because they're going to be closed, right? They have to have air conditioning.
I don't know.
I don't think they are going to
How
be
would you
closed.
get- how
Well,
would
no-
you get? I wouldn't think. I don't know.
They-
Well, I mean, Busch Gardens has the Skyway.
But,
thing,
yeah,
though.
they're open.
But they're
in
open though,
buckets.
correct?
Yeah.
Like, we're looking at the concept art, they have windows with characters on them.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to be enclosed.
Huh, it's got to be something.
Yeah, because there's no way I'm getting on that thing, especially
But
in
at
the
least
middle of
it'll have
September.
music.
Oh god. Oh yeah.
So you can sing Zippity Doo Dah while you're melting away.
All right, so really quick before we get out of here, we had some questions. Whether it be theme parks or Scott, even some questions for you.
All right.
So Sam Zimmerman, he says, "Hi Scotty, big fan. As a fellow former Westbrook, Maine resident and now Orlando local, do you miss the Brook? And are you as annoyed as I am that they left you off the new welcome mural, but they put in the freaking Ninja Turtles?
Kevin Eastman, the Ninja Turtle guy, he grew up seriously a couple houses down.
Are you
from
serious?
What? That's so cool.
Yeah, same town. I mean, he deserves to be on there, right? But I don't know. I haven't lived there for a while. I only lived there for 30 years.
Only. Eh?
I saw it when I went home.
Do you still call it home?
Yeah. Still, when I was still wrestling up till 2 years ago, I was still always announced. Wherever I went in the world, I would always be announced from Westbrook, Maine, but they must have just forgot to.
Oh, man.
Actually, Fandango's from Westbrook also.
Oh, is he really? Oh, that's so
And,
cool.
So, I mean, you have two guys in the state of Maine who have action figures and been on video games. They happen to be from Westbrook. They just got left off the wall. But
Oh, man.
they have every other person that's ever been from Westbrook, Maine. Like, there's a list of those. There's no bitterness. No, there's no bitterness here.
We'll just make sure to
Oh,
put some
Lord.
posters up when we go up next time. Let's see here. Miss Brittany Tuttle.
Go.
Piggy's up, everybody. I have a question, unrelated, but I generally want to know. Why does Dee Dee like Illumination so much?
Okay.
Like, genuinely, what is good about that show that makes him so upset about its closing?
You will never find better fireworks. This is number one. Number two, you actually have space to watch it.
But the
am I
space
right?
isn't going away.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like with the way it is, the 360 of it.
And I'm sure the new show will be 362.
Yeah, but the music is better.
but will it give somebody a heart attack? Is it that
They do themed shows like during the holidays.
I'm
We
sure.
don't know that they're not
4th
gonna
of
do these
July.
shows.
Listen, they
It's
probably
too early
won't.
to tell.
Yeah.
Listen, they probably won't do it. And then happily ever after, not happily ever after, they do it for 4th of July, and they give you time to actually exit the park and see the fireworks while you're at it.
So basically, everything that you just said is probably going to happen with the new show.
I don't think so. Because you're not going to have that intermission, even though I do like the glow part. You're not going to have that intermission of knowing, okay, this is the time to actually start walking back a little bit.
So what you're saying? The good part about Illuminations is that there's a bad part to Illuminations.
This is not a bad part. It's a signal saying,
But
guys,
it's
if you've
a
seen
part
this-
you want to walk away and not watch.
Yeah, if you've seen it a million times, of course you're going to be like, okay,
Boo this man.
This is where I actually start walking away so I could beat traffic. And then when you're actually like right at the edge of Future World, boom, you see the fireworks, boom, you're ready to go home. Guys, come on.
No.
I'm gonna turn his mic off.
Get hype.
Let's see, Tom for Coasters, he says, definitely talk about Illumination's fireworks show ending in late 2019. Of course, we talked about that. Also, thoughts on the official trailer release for Mary Poppins Returns, and is it the Get Hype movie of December 2018? Banks, you were high on this movie earlier.
Yeah, you know what? This new trailer really sold me on it. Like, I was always kind of like iffy about a new Mary Poppins movie. Like, why would Disney want to do that? And then see this trailer. It's obviously not a sequel. It's not a remake. They're obviously doing traditional animation again, just like the original movie. It seems like they're really putting a lot of love into continuing the story at the same time as honoring the original. So and Dick Van Dyke's still in it. So
Yeah, I didn't realize he was in it.
And Angela Lansbury.
Wait, what? I didn't even see
Angela
that part.
Lansbury is in the movie. She's not credited in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
But there is a scene in the middle of the trailer where the Mr. Banks is talking to this older lady sitting down, and that's Angela Lansbury.
I'll
If
have
you
to go back
listen
and
to
watch
the
it
voice,
now.
you hear Mrs. Potts.
Interesting.
So it's the fact she's in it, and Meryl Streep's in it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Julie
yeah.
Walters, and I'm really excited for this.
Julie Andrews is in it?
No, we don't know. Nothing.
He said Julie Walters.
I said Julie Walters, Mrs. Weasley from the Potter films.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But maybe she'll come as an unannounced cameo. Who knows?
Scott, you guys excited for this?
I loved Saving Mr. Banks,
Mm-hmm.
and then loved Mary Poppins, and I loved Dick Van Dyke. So, yeah, I am. I regret being at Disneyland and seeing Dick Van Dyke and not meeting him.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That
well,
happened? Really?
yeah. I feel like there's very few people who are real icons on the planet. We overuse that word now, but like to me, like Dick Van Dyke is an American icon.
He's a treasure.
Yeah.
He and Betty White. And
Except for that accent.
I remember I was always so jealous of our boss, the boss man, Matt Rosebone.
Big Boss Man.
Big boss man. He
Hard
once
times.
at Disneyland. I think probably for the same reason Dick Van Dyke was there. You saw him there. He was just walking through the Grand Californian, and he spotted Dick Van Dyke just sitting there chilling
Yeah.
in the couch in the
Yeah.
lobby.
Tell me he was eating a cheeseburger.
I
Please
don't
tell
know,
me
but
he's eating a
no
cheeseburger.
one was around him, so he walked up and met him. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I've
Yeah.
always heard he's super cool. So that's like, if I'd heard he wasn't, I wouldn't have gone up to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Like I saw him walking through New Orleans Square.
Oh, wow.
Man, I should have just said hello, got a picture with him. But no.
Now I want that sandwich. Oh, what was it? The
Monte Cristo.
The Monte
Oh, yeah,
Cristo.
yeah, yeah.
So we just recently went to Disneyland for the first time back in April, and that was like the one thing that I wish I would have had like 5 more of because
it's good,
it's so good, so good.
So Gators Dockside does have the Monte Cristo.
Wait,
It's not
what?
bad, yeah,
But is it as good as the one from?
it's not bad.
Do they deep fry it?
Yep.
I missed out the first time. I'm not going to miss out again.
Yeah, you got the lamb, right? And you're like, why did I get this?
For half the price, I probably could have got something a lot better.
Yeah, I think the Monte Cristo at Disneyland is like $793 at the Bayou.
Yeah. The bayou was like $17. The lamb was like $50.
And it was great because I still had like half a sandwich to eat during the Mickey's show. I can't remember what it was. What's the one where he goes into like the map or that magical map?
Mickey and the Magical
Yeah,
Map.
magical map. Yeah, so I still had half a sandwich to eat for dinner that night. And like, oh yeah, I'm
And
so
you
glad I
didn't
got this.
share with Dee Dee.
No, it was delicious. You see me, Banks? I'm a bit of a fat guy. I like the food.
I hear you.
Let's see here. Mac Clarkey says, I want to comment on last week's show. Harry Potter Celebration was always held in January, and it may have ended due to budget cuts, issues with sponsors, or maybe events like Back to Hogwarts are getting better feedback. Just my assumption. Hope it's not budget cuts. That being said, what other fan events would you like to see at Universal? Maybe, I don't know, a Fast and Furious fan event?
Who would show up?
Us?
Well, I'm talking about like the stars.
I think if they were paid enough, I think they would easily be there. So the Fast and Furious is officially our movie franchise on the podcast. That's like one of our favorite movie franchises of all time. So
It is the best movie franchise of all time. Sorry.
but I think like Ludacris and Tyrese and all of them would show up.
I know Tyrese would.
He's got to get paid
always looking
somehow,
for some
right?
money.
I think everybody but The Rock would show up. To be perfectly honest.
Probably. I would go in.
And I don't think The Rock wouldn't show up because like he wouldn't want to do it. I think just
He's
because
so
he's
busy.
doing
He's shooting 3
everything.
movies a month nowadays.
And producing. He just revealed he's doing a new game show. Like a
Oh yeah,
like
Fox
a
or something,
Beastmaster.
right?
Yeah, on Fox.
Yeah.
Like Ultimate Titan or something like
Yeah,
that.
As long as Vin Diesel shows up, that's all that matters.
Is he?
Can you
See?
see my eye roll on this?
Hey. Let's see here.
Hey,
Kyle.
driver, move that van.
Wow, that had more inflection than the actual ride.
It's so funny because like we get so
Easy,
much
De
hate.
Niro.
We get so much hate for it because the ride being so bad. But it's like you still haven't
I
rode it
still
yet.
haven't ridden it yet, but I'm so excited to ride it.
Like I love how bad it is, and my kids love it. They love the whole Fast and Furious franchise. So it's cool. Like it's a family thing for us. Oh, get it
When
started.
say
Their family.
like that, like 4,000 pounds, right?
See, Kyle Fukumoto says Captain Marvel trailer dropped. Which movie are you most looking forward to next year? I'm gonna say Wonder Woman 84, Jungle Cruise, and Lion King. I saw the opening of Lion King at D23.
Lion King for sure. The next Avengers, of course.
You say we're gonna
Next
Avengers,
Star
what,
Wars
May?
is next year.
Is it?
Like,
Oh, it is next year, isn't it?
there's a lot coming out next year. I'm very excited for.
Anything for you, Scott? Is there a movie that you're looking forward to?
I'm not a big movie guy.
No, really?
No,
Okay.
not really. No. But I mean, Lion King sounds cool though.
Yeah, live action Lion King. Come on,
Yeah.
Donald
I
Glover.
actually saw that trailer and I didn't think it was real.
Right? It almost looks fake, right?
No, I thought it was like a fan made thing.
Oh,
I didn't realize it was a
okay.
real trailer, yeah.
And then of course you got the Hobbs movie coming out next year.
Best movie of the year.
Let's see here. In honor of Vontae Davis, this is coming from Spence Bullmoose 716. In honor of Vontae Davis quitting my beloved Buffalo Bills at halftime, what was the last video game that was so bad it made you quit?
Oh man, that was so bad, like
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, video game.
Man, that was so.
All right,
bad.
all right. So, movie. Was there a movie that you started?
Oh my gosh. Okay. For some reason, this sticks out in my mind so much. The only movie I ever walked out on was Old School.
Really? The one with Will Ferrell and everybody?
Yeah, I was in theaters. I think the problem was I went by myself.
Okay.
Because none of my friends were available.
Okay.
And I think that movie needs to be seen with a group of people.
Oh,
who
yeah,
can
yeah,
really
yeah.
laugh
Yeah.
and enjoy it. I remember just sitting there like, this isn't that funny. I just left. So I need to give it another shot. But,
Okay.
that always sticks in my mind.
All right. I think if we had the option and it wasn't in 40X, probably would have walked out of The Nun.
I probably would have walked out on the Nun.
Really?
It was that bad.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, it
Looking
was.
forward to seeing that.
it's a
we were really
disappointment.
scared going into it. Like that trailer that they kept showing was like, oh man, I'm legit terrified. We made sure to go get drinks beforehand. This way we'd be
Yeah.
okay. You know, no, it was not good.
I
It
almost
was
fell
bad.
asleep twice. Like the first 20 minutes of the movie, I was dying. It was, yeah. Especially after The Conjuring 2, you go from that to. Oh man, that movie was all over the place. Not good.
You said you're not a huge movie fan, but is there a movie that you remember, so bad that you either walked out or just turned it off?
It was something. I don't remember what it was, man. It was years ago, but I can't remember what it was. No, not really. That's why I don't go to movies.
Guys, I think that's going to be it for us this week. Scott, we really, really appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, thank you
Yes,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank
It was great having you
We'll do
on.
it again.
Yeah, talk a little wrestling, a little Horror Nights. Of course, we got plenty of theme park stuff coming on. So we there's always an open spot for you to
Awesome,
come onto the
man.
show.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Of course, where can everybody follow you on Twitter and of course the YouTube
Twitter,
channel as well?
Instagram, everything is the Scotty Tuhati. Somebody stole Scotty Tuhati.
But you wear the Scotty
I am
Tuhati.
the, but it's probably that dark place. Yeah. So as far as you can find the show on there, links to the show, and everything's connected. So
And what was the name of the show again?
you tell me.
Passports,
Passports.
places unknown, parts unknown.
I literally typed it. I posted something where I called it. I'm such an amateur. Passports, parks, and unknown places. And I'm like, dude, I posted it. And I'm like, oh, I look like such an idiot now. Like,
Stacey D's texting me later. This isn't the name of our
It
show.
didn't stay up long. I caught it before I. But
Banks, where can everybody follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Banks Lee, Instagram at Disney Goofball, and of course all of the Attractions Magazine social media channels and YouTube channel doing lots more of Attractions Kids videos.
And a shout out to Banks for all the editing on all the Halloween Horror Night houses.
Thank you, Banks.
This week because you killed it out there,
Thank
sir.
you.
No pun intended. Get it, Horror Nights. Dee Dee, what about you, sir?
You can find me on all types of social media except Facebook, Blacktimus Prime, BLAKTIMUS Prime. Lots of Horror Nights coverage will be on my page. It's not going to be your normal depressing stuff.
Oh, and Halloween Screen coming up. Of course, if you'd like to follow the show on Twitter, it's going to be at AttractionsEXP. If you want to send us an email, it's going to be expansiondrive@attractionsmagazine.com. Of course, we'd like to thank MEI Travel, Mass Fan Travel, and Universal Fan Travel for sponsoring the show each and every week. Of course, thank you to Give Kids World Village for allowing us to record the show here
Thank
each and every week.
you.
If you want to help out them for doing some volunteer work,
Please.
check out gktw.org. Guys, I think it's going to be for us. Make sure you check out the latest podcast that went live before this podcast. It's all the audio of us right
It'll
there.
be titled Exorcism Drive Volume 2,
Yes!
Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando.
Oh, thank you to the professor for editing that for us
Let's
because
go,
I know that's a
baby.
lot of work. It was a lot of fun recording all that audio, so yeah, definitely check it out. There's lots of screams.
And bleeps.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
They were all staged, by the way. I'm just saying.
Hopefully there'll be a lot of good audio coming up this Friday, Halloween Horror or Halloween Scream as well.
yes.
We'll also be going to Gaylord Palms on Saturday to check out all their events as well.
See.
Looks like we may be doing some SeaWorld event for their Spooktacular. And, of course, we have Screamageddon coming up and then also Ominous Descent over at Sir Henry's Haunted Trail over on the West Coast, over by the Gulf of Mexico. So we're heading out that way as well. As always, from the Good Brothers, Too Sweet.
Get hype. #Save Illuminations. Woo!